Let's
Okay. I gotta say this off the
go.
jump. This is genuinely one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm not lying.
Bro,
And I
bro, if
contemplate watching the and putting this in my letterbox top for all that stuff because I've seen
bro, if
this
Fallout's
movie.
at the top of your rating, you're so boring, bro. You're
Did
so
you did you
boring.
guys know like immediately when you watched this one that this was the best one? Because I feel like we're all in
Yeah.
agreement this is the best one, right?
I was about halfway through and I was like, this shit fucking rocks, man. This is easily
So
the best
my
Mission
my
Impossible ever.
most rewatched movies after like 2015 are Mad Max, John Wick 2, and this movie right here.
But you like, did you know that like immediately? Like this was the
Yes.
best one out of the eight now?
Yes.
Funny enough, I still thought that Rogue Nation was the best one for a minute, and then I rewatched this after theaters, and I was like, okay, fine, this
I
is
saw this 3 times in the
Yeah,
theater.
this one fucking rips.
And
this one fucking rips is the best the
so
best review you could say about anything.
I think I even texted you in the group. I was like, this thing fucking rips,
someone
man.
in the Mission Possible subreddit
All three of
actually
us
went to
basically saying
this
the same thing.
location very recently, and uh, y'all know the whole thing. Obviously, Mission 3, Lake Wanaka, and this is genius work from McHugh. That like we have a lot of dream sequences in this movie, and we follow into Ethan's mind as to what he sees this world as like the worst case scenarios. I love it. Okay, Rob
Bro, it was
Hardy
like
off the jump.
opera.
Rob Hardy
Look at that
shot the
lens
crap out of
flare.
this movie. This is my
JJ
favorite
was like,
shot.
JJ was like, yes, more, more.
Rob Hardy usually works with like Alex Garland, and this is completely different to that sort of work. But they did a fantastic job lensing this movie. Truly.
Damn, look at
I
that
love
panic
the
room.
use of silhouettes in this one.
It's like panic room when she opens the door.
I am the storm. Come on. Come on. Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
Such a hard ass line, dude. It's like the same thing with like the last movie that we were talking about, like the Alec Baldwin saying he's the living manifestation of destiny. Like it's just such a good script. Like the dialogue is so tight.
Dude, Christopher Nolan,
Homer's Odyssey.
you think this is when
Homer's
he was like,
Odyssey.
you think
Homer's
he was like,
Odyssey.
wait, should I make the Odyssey?
That's what I thought it was funny the other day when I was rewatching too, because I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize this was in there.
I haven't seen this since the Odyssey news came out, so it's new to me. So this is Christopher McQuarrie's voice right here. He just woke up in the morning and went straight to the studio and recorded all these lines. If you pay attention, they're about to put up a photo, and on the right side you can see, or the left side you can see that photo right there. You can see Henry Cavill standing in the back.
Oh yeah, I see him. I didn't
Yeah.
notice that before.
Legitimately, I
Oh, and
enjoy
that's what I was
watching
saying.
this movie every single time. It's such a great experience.
The last pod, I was like, because we were talking about the budget, and this
Gushmere.
feels just so much like bigger budget, even though it's not that much bigger.
It's the same budget.
Yeah, basically,
They
yeah,
they
same
got
budget.
a 25% rebate on shooting in the UK, but besides that, it's the same exact budget.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
Do you,
but
Pat, are you watching this on disc 4K?
I am.
I am too.
Prakash?
I am too.
So I'm gonna have to ask you guys, you have the set, right, Pat? That's how you got the 4K for this? Or did you get the
Mhm.
launch day one?
I think I got this set. When did the 4K set come out? I may have had
Like
this
right
individually
after
on
the
four.
last one. Or after
I
I think
think
Fallout.
um, yeah, I think I got Fallout in this set. So I had all of them before individually, and then I got rid of them because I got this set. Because I didn't have any on 4K. It
So
was all Blu-ray. It
yeah.
does have the aspect ratio change.
So that's the thing, is the aspect ratio change. It is technically not the full IMAX
Full,
ratio. It's
yeah.
it's pretty
But
close
the
though.
no, but the thing is, the whole movie is not. They didn't shoot it that way either way.
No, I know. But it's still the aspect ratio changes, I think, twice.
It does. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, cool.
And even then,
Nice.
it's towards the end when the aspect ratio changes, it changes back and forth because of the shots with like Benji and Ilsa and
They're shot on
Julia.
film.
Mm-hmm. It's when they're in the
It's in that
airplane
helicopter, yeah.
puff.
So
Yeah.
It's
the
all of
thing
those
was,
shots.
so McHugh said the reason why they shot that digitally was just feasibility. That if they wanted to go to location and shoot, it takes 45 minutes to go from base camp to the location. And they were at a point where they'd start rolling cameras and the pilot would be like, "Hey, we got to go back. I got to refuel." Like that's how temperamental it was. And for different stunts, they have different amount of fuel in the helicopters, and getting the shots lined up, getting momentum, and then trying to do it. It's just like a whole like intense thing.
Yeah, no.
So
I mean, it being where it is in the way that they're shooting these stunts, I don't blame them for wanting to shoot digital. Like, film's gonna be the best way all around, but at the same time, like they use film as much as they could.
yeah, definitely. Bali.
Funny enough, talking about film and IMAX, I mean, we guys saw the news, right? Are we gonna talk about it?
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Christopher Nolan,
what
Christopher
news?
Nolan's Odyssey. Christopher
I
Nolan's
can't
Odyssey
believe it.
being completely shot on IMAX film. The first movie to
can't-
ever do it.
Genuinely, it's one of the
Yeah.
greatest pieces of news I've heard all year. Can you give me timestamp?
Timestamp is 6 minutes exactly.
Okay. Tell me when you get to the shot of Simon Pegg turn to Ethan.
He just turned.
Okay.
Now it's the CCTV.
Okay. I'm a little bit behind, but I'm there. So look at the lighting, man. It's just fantastic. And I'm glad we got our man back in the truck, you know?
Mm.
But the
Yeah.
stakes in this one just feel unreal. This is the
This
one movie
just
where I'm like,
doesn't let up. There's like no
someone-
pause breaks in it.
and they were, I think when they were like cutting down the movie, they when they were testing it, they were at like 2:45, 2:43, 2 hours 43 minutes, and
What's the
they just
time? 2:27.
yeah, they had to cut it down quite a bit, but they made it a lean machine.
There's not like
You-
really any. I don't explain
Downtime.
it. Like there's not any downtime, but there's also not a lot of fat, which is with a lot of movies, it's like
Yeah.
the fat's there, but sometimes it's like a good fat.
That's what I was saying. There's no like scenes where it's like, let's sit down and explain exposition for a bit. I feel like in this movie.
Not even
I think there
exposition,
is.
but it's like almost like
It's-
just moments where you're just kind of having fun. You're kind of just living in the
Yeah.
world. Like
That's what I'm saying. It just
Avatar-
rips. It rips.
Avatar is a movie I would say has a lot of fat, but it's a good kind of fat because you're just kind of in the world, and I love that.
Mm.
But McHugh, he talks about how they overshoot, overwrite, over-explain, and then find themselves leaning it down, making it into the actual, story that they need to tell at the moment during, the entire movie. So, I mean, the results show exactly that, he knows how to have a pace through the movie where it's like, it's a lot of movie, but it never feels like it's too much for the audience. Because for me, when it comes to action, sometimes you get tired. Like if I like
Yeah.
John Wick 3 in the theater, I was sweating. I was tired watching that movie. Genuinely.
Yo, sitting through Dead Reckoning Part 2 or The Final Reckoning, I'm sorry. I was sweating during one scene. I was sweating like hardcore, and at one point I looked over at my
I'm
friend and I was trying to
excited.
drink water, and I was like shaking. It was insane.
No. I understand. And I don't know, some people, I don't know, they don't get that emotion, but me, when I'm watching a movie, I'm locked in. Like I talk about First Man, there's a season like the Aegina spin, the Chris Abbott scene, like with Ryan Gosling's character, like it's crazy.
I think
Like
it
when I saw
depends on the movie.
Kingdom of Heaven
'Cause,
yesterday?
like
It's locked in. 3
I
hours.
should have gone to see Kingdom of Heaven, man. I thought to myself like I could watch that at home.
Yeah, you
It's
didn't
4
see.
hours.
You didn't see my reply.
I
My
had
reply
to
to
give
you.
I did
I had
see
to
it
give my
actually.
ticket up.
That's one of my
So-
favorite photos.
So these you see all the lights here, like this is all lighting that they did, and Martin might be able to speak to this more, but it's like these are just tube lights essentially,
Yeah.
LED tube lights, and it's what they do in John Wick also, but the way that John
A
Wick
little
and
tint of green.
yeah, the way both of them do it is quite different. And the funny thing is that this movie and John Wick 4 have same exact setting, which I will bring up when we get there, about halfway through the movie. Y'all have seen Tomorrow Never Dies, right? This whole car thing is just,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pierce Brosnan does it in that one. I think it's from 97.
I need to rewatch the Brosnan films.
This moment right here, just character-wise, is scary.
Nice. Nice little rack back. That was good. Good camera movement.
What would you do in this situation, right? And Ethan's whole his whole basis as like why he's the right guy for this job always is that no life is more important than another.
Hmm.
Or
This is the movie
in
that
this,
really like kind of nails that in though, because like there's one scene
yes,
particularly like I want to say like an hour in, and you know exactly what scene I'm talking about, but like it's very difficult to like think like why is it that we're 6 movies in and this is the first time we've seen something like this, and it's because we're always so in the mission, we're always so part of the action that like we forget that all of his values are always there. It's just a matter of like we don't really see it as much after like the third or fourth movie.
Macquarie was like, I think we've beat the living crap out of all this like spy mission, big stuff that
Yeah.
we actually need to get to character. And he didn't realize how much they're get into Ethan's psyche with this movie, but emotionally, that stuff
I mean, they
lands
immediately
perfectly.
do it right off the bat
Yeah.
with Michelle Monaghan immediately.
So
I like
in the
Wanaka.
theater, what did y'all think about this scene right here? Like, what
I
did y'all
loved it
think
because I
about
was just
this?
like,
Flitzer?
yo, it's just Mission Impossible 1 again.
Yeah.
No, but like,
Flitzer?
no, but like in the sense that like you're watching it and there's nuclear attacks and it cuts to this. Did y'all believe this?
I think I believed it for a second,
Maybe for a second, yeah.
and then I was like, nah, there's something going on.
One of my favorite things in movies is when they get actual news anchors to like do this stuff.
Yeah.
Like Will
But this
Flitzer
is the
like
best.
doing these scenes.
This is the best one, bar none.
Yeah.
This is
Because
perfect.
then he comes up in the scene. Like Will Flitzer was there. Like
And how many times has this happened? We have Wolf in a lot of movies, but this is the best cameo because it's like
Mhm.
he's also technically playing Benji in the movie.
Yeah.
Some of these inserts is actually it's BQ's hands when he's looking at the files. Look at the lighting. Oh my gosh, man. This movie. The casting for this guy is perfect for Del
Yeah.
Brook.
He's got the perfect like yellow teeth. This guy wants to
Yeah.
blow shit up.
But you
This
see
guy-
how my argument for this movie visually is that this movie looks fundamentally
Dude, look
better.
at that hair. That hair.
looks
This
different.
guy.
He said, look at this guy's teeth. He wants to blow some shit up.
Martin and you have, and Del Brook have the same hair.
We do. But I think just what made me laugh was
Oh,
how he
man.
said it. It was so true.
Yeah, I
This
know.
guy wants to blow shit up. That was good. I'm here all night, folks. Until 2 hours from now when this podcast ends.
I mean, hey, we've been getting quite a bit of good feedback on these episodes. I feel like we've got a few people on Twitter hyping us up.
They're loving it, yeah. So thank you for listening
God, this is so good.
to the
Cinema.
do.
No, but like genuinely, this
This is so movie Humakash.
this is the
This-
best movie, man.
This is so
This is
movie.
best movie.
You stand
This is-
stand up in the theater and just high five people like let's fucking go.
I saw this in
Dude,
the. It
I
was
told
premiere
you.
night. I saw this in IMAX with my family. The entire theater, 280 seat theater, is just 4 people in there, and we were watching this. It was awesome.
saw
I
this at the
told you
AMC
guys
Burbank.
about I went to go see Furiosa and some random dude sat next to me. We didn't talk to each other the whole movie, but that movie ended and we high-fived each other. We're like, fuck yeah, dude. Like cinema is back, baby.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that after Top Gun. There was a woman that was sitting like 4 seats away from me, but I was like, I don't want to be a creep. I was like, let me leave that. Because we saw I think the movie premiered, like you could see the movie at like 3 p.m. instead of like a 7 p.m. on Thursday. So I saw like the first showing, and it was just like 5 of us in there, and it was a godly experience watching that one too.
I saw this the AMC Burbank IMAX.
I love the
2018.
physical. This is like you could tell that this is Ving and Tom, just like pretty much going in the set and just
I think once you
doing
rewatch
theater
this, though,
together.
you're like, oh, clearly they're acting. You can tell that they're acting.
but it's great.
I think
Yeah.
it was
It's
right there that
it's
I was like, oh, this
fantastic.
is fake. And also the
Yeah.
music. I was like, this isn't like he wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
When McHugh was doing that the Jeff Goldsmith like Q&A, it's in front of an audience, and he was asking them literally like, how many of y'all thought that this was real? And they're like 50% of them thought it was real, and then another 50, half of them thought that something else was going on, something was hinky. And then slowly as the scene progresses, then you like everyone's on the page of like, oh, they're actually, something else is going on here.
Yeah, and they
Did
moved
we get it?
Jerusalem. Orlando Bloom was just there. Damn.
You know what's funny? The Pope is in the news. Kashmir, like where they are at the end of the movie, is very much, a hotbed of war right now. So I'm like,
Mhm.
this movie is all like, randomly relevant currently.
There was a shot
it
in
done?
I'm not gonna say what the shot is, but there's a shot in Final Reckoning when I was watching it, and I looked at my friend and I was like, "Ooh, bad timing on that."
Oh, we'll
It's
see.
like it's like two shots. They're very quick, but when you see it, you're like, "Ooh, that just doesn't look good for right now."
Mm-hmm.
Did
Go.
we get it?
Nice.
Psh.
I
You're
love how
right
the
about the
walls just fall because
shadows.
that would never happen.
Yeah. Go.
And Lauren Balfe,
Dude, I think this is
MVP.
the best score.
And
I was saying it on the last pod. Lauren Balfe has the best score across all of these movies.
Yeah.
he sent a couple, not a couple, a lot of pieces to McHugh before they even started shooting anything. And one of the pieces ends up being during that scene you're talking about, the alternate reality of the lane heist or lane escape. That's one of those pieces.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, I
Here we
love
go.
that
These
that
credits. These credits. Come on, let's
opening
go.
credits on this one are the best too.
16
There's
minutes
there's one
in.
track. There's a track on the towards the end. I want to say called "Scalp and Hammer." That is
Yeah,
just
Scalpel and
it
Ham.
it
Or
yeah
Scalpel
it
and Hammer because of the dialogue
the
from
dialogue
Lark.
from
Yeah.
Angela Bassett and him. Yeah, it just it hits so good, dude. It's a good track.
Whoa. Vanessa Kirby's in this? Fucking Invisible.
I
She's in
actually forgot
Fantastic
that she was in
Four,
this one
bro.
because I remember that she was in Dead Reckoning, and then I was
So
like, wait, I forgot she's in this one too.
so they
You watch her
there's
in
a
The
scene
Crown?
that's cut out of this movie
Good
where
shit.
they're going to Kashmir and they get to a gate. There's a photo of a bridge or like barbed wire with blood on it, dripping. This shot right here, like with the BMW, both of the shots, fantastic. Just like
I've always wanted to
I don't
like,
I don't know how they did this. It's just like edge arm, I assume. Like it just looks fantastic.
yeah, could be on the front of a car too. I always wanted to just like do that, like going to like an airport, but you're just driving the car on the tarmac. You thinking you're so fucking cool, and just
When
speed up like that, and just come
the
right up.
the score
Hey,
the score shift when it turns to Bassett, like in the hallway, it's fantastic. Alex brought in
I
this
feel like
movie
Lauren,
for more
I think he's a really
exposition.
underrated composer.
You know who he is, right? Like he's one of Hans Zimmer's proteges.
Yeah, I want to see his. Did you do WandaVision?
Okay, sorry for this
You're the
random
woman in the yard.
segue. Did y'all know that Minecraft has made $955 million?
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, because it's cinema, it's
I,
movie.
I don't know. I think Lauren might have composed it. That's why it came up in my head.
He did not.
Okay. One life in millions, this line
Only
that
movies
just
this
went
year
by.
is A Novocaine and A Woman in the Yard and Wheel of Time.
Okay. Alec delivering this dialogue, just like, it is that reminder of Glengarry.
Mm-hmm.
Do, do,
Oh yeah,
do, do, do.
easily Henry Cavill's best performance.
By far. Eddie Hamilton, whose credit just came up. The funny thing is that they were trying to figure out, I guess, with test screens, like people know that Henry Cavill's a villain, right? And Eddie's just like, he has a villain mustache. Like no one with a mustache like that is not a villain.
Bro, that's Superman.
What's funny is
Not
there's a show
anymore.
called Zero Day that just came out on Netflix. Jesse Plemons, Bob Odenkirk, not Bob, Robert De Niro, and Angela Bassett is also the president in that. So, two things she's a president in.
Angela Bassett's, I think, gonna be at one of the screenings in Atlanta pretty soon. I want to say it's the 22nd I saw, but also
For
I'm
what?
not going to. I already saw it.
For Mission Impossible?
Yeah. And I was talking about it with a friend at the screening that I was at because we were waiting for the movie to start, and I was like, "Yeah, she's supposed to be here," and he's like, "Is she even in this movie?" And I was like, "Yes, dude, she's in the fucking trailer."
She what? I assume she has like 5 minutes, right?
No, I mean she's in it for quite a bit. They just don't really show
Oh,
that
okay.
much of her in the trailer, which
Okay.
I can
Good to hear.
understand.
You use a scalpel. I use a hammer, or I prefer a hammer. There we go. Angela, these are just all heavy hitters. Everybody's a heavy hitter in this movie.
Did when did Batman v Superman come out?
2016, I think
2016. This is
February.
2018. They were in production on Justice League at this point, or reshooting Justice League, which we
when
are
did
now.
Justice League? Was that 17?
2017, November
So
2017, October
not the
2017.
Snyder version
this came out in July.
2020.
Snyder Cut was 2011.
No, it wasn't.
2020?
2011?
2021.
2021.
He said 2011.
I did.
Yeah, no, this was
Yeah.
2016. You did say 2011. It's okay. 2016 was like right when they were reshooting all of Justice League. So that's why he has that mustache or he has that upper lip thing in the Snyder or the Whedon cut of Justice
Yeah.
League. So even though it was technically already done, they were reshooting shit.
Hmm. Bro, the villain's hair goes one way and Tom Cruise's hair goes the other way. Damn. Good and evil. I think they actually go the same way. Do they go the same way? No, they don't. Look at me. Did you ever watch The Witcher with him?
Yeah, I got through a season or two.
I think I watched the first season. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. So I kind of
Yeah,
stopped
because
watching.
the problem is that they are going for a plot reveal, and that there's two different timelines going on. It's supposed to be a
Yeah.
twist.
I have the
Same thing that
game.
Westworld did. You know, it was a waste of time.
I
Didn't they
watched the
recast
first
him?
season. They did. It was Liam Hemsworth that recap or they
Yeah.
replaced
Did
him
that come
with.
out?
I think so. I think it's now
Okay.
already.
I'll give the whole spiel real quick. So the camera guy, Craig O'Brien, they had to train him to shoot this, and they shot this in Abu Dhabi. They did about 120 jumps. It took a month to get, about 2 or 3 minutes worth of stuff. All this stuff that they're wearing is, specifically made for the movie. He had a 20-pound camera package, a red camera, I think a 24 millimeter like Panavision spherical lens on top of his head, and he's
It's on
pulling
like a
focus,
helmet, yeah.
Yeah.
and he's jumping out
Pulling
of
focus
the yeah.
manually, not even looking.
Yeah. Or like the focus part was easy because he just had to turn the dial all the way up. But
Yeah.
he literally jumped out of the
But
he
Tom
has to
Cruise almost
jump
hit
out
him,
of
right? Doesn't Cruise
No.
almost hit him? That's why he kind of stops for a second because he's
No,
coming
no,
at him
no.
fast.
So they're going down 160, 180 miles per hour, but he has to
There you
land 3 feet
There you go.
away from him. And he has to land 3 feet away from him, and his margin of error is 3 inches for, the depth of field, like for focus. So first few takes, 3 takes, 3 jumps, so 3 days. They couldn't get the focus correct. And it ended up being that the guy on the plane that was pulling focus, his focus pull or whatever, his focus remote was still on. So like Tom was like, oh, like McHugh was like, oh, are you sure you didn't like, forget? Like you're like, depth perception, 3 feet it looks different on a stage compared to,
There we
jumping
go.
out of a plane and it's dark. But,
Bro,
he
imagine
does this
jumping out of the plane
perfectly.
backwards.
That's what I'm saying. He jumps out at 160 miles per hour, and then Tom has to land 3 feet in front of him.
Immediately, yeah.
And so they had 3 portions of this. They did this as 3 different like portions of this that they have to shoot practically. And after they conquered one, they had to conquer the next and conquer the next. And they're like, oh, we'll be here 3 days. And they were there for a month in Abu Dhabi. Guess how many shooting days they had on this movie?
Probably more than 70.
So on,
Nine- 90.
I'll give you an example. On Rogue Nation, they had 84 days, and they went up to 120. So how many days do you think they had on this one?
Like this is a trick
170. I
question.
went 50.
I feel like it's less.
164.
Damn.
Oh, damn, I was close.
Jake Myers, the other producer besides McHugh and Tom, was like, "Hey, like last time, it took 120. I'll just give you 120 from the jump, so we don't have to worry." And it ended up being 164. But
Damn.
they had 164 days, but they came in on budget. Same thing on Rogue Nation. So,
Or more than Jaws, and Jaws did not. Come
which
in on
means,
budget.
they had
Jaws
more
is a
days
fucking
and still
legend.
came in on budget, and that's crazy producing.
Dude, I thought you.
The
I thought you could
crazy
fly.
thing
He's
is that
Superman.
the crazy thing is that all the background, even though they're actually doing this in air, is that all of it's CG.
It's mostly for the performance though. That they did it for
Yeah.
real.
Which is
Yeah.
fantastic. It's like, but the roto looks good.
Yeah.
The rotoscoping, excuse me.
I mean, it's kind of like no. I know what you meant. It's kind of like what I was talking about with the Top Gun thing. Like me and
100%.
Pat kind of went into it, and I think you were. I can't remember if it was actually on the Mission Impossible episode. I think it was for Ghost
It
Protocol
was
that we
Ghost
did it.
Protocol. Yeah.
Yeah. So like them saying that the stunts are real and the plane stuff was real. Like yeah, it's real, and all of that there is for the camera. But at the same time, like you're CGing over the actual plane that you're shooting with.
Actually,
so, like, to an
perfect
extent,
example is this. This
real to an
roof right
extent.
here. The roof right here where he just rolled off, that's fake. But then they also are kind of on the real roof too. So it's interesting.
That's great.
This man.
I love that look where it's like Henry Cavill knew that he just like saved him, but then he just immediately switches to like looks like like the look he gives like thank, like shit, and then to like the smirk being like looks like you lost your oxygen. Like that was good. That's why I'm like, damn, he's easily his best role is this so far.
One of my
Unless
favorites. So
fucking
there was
fan cast him
more.
as James Bond.
Like there was even more on that ledge that they were on up top. But it's like, they had to make it even leaner, as lean as they possibly could when it came to this movie.
That's plenty of little comedic relief there, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Move on. Bro, this is a
club looks
crazy
great.
club. That's what I was gonna say. This club is huge.
I love it.
I'd go there. I'd fucking hang out.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's awesome. And my favorite part is that they can't hear
In a
each other.
fucking museum.
Yeah.
You know what this is, right? This is Michael Mann.
Oh, yeah.
This is Miami Vice.
This is
Collateral.
Miami Vice, Collateral. Yeah, this is...
I need to hit Miami Vice again.
Bro, Miami Vice is a great rewatch,
Fucking
actually.
rips.
They're doing a remake, unfortunately, of that.
No need.
They just announced it.
No need to make one.
Is Michael Mann producing that though? I think he might be involved with it.
I think his hands in it
'Cause
somehow. I
obviously-
can't remember how.
Because obviously the TV show as well. So when I was watching this, I thought the bathroom said homies.
Homies.
Homes.
Toilets. Homies.
This is for the homies.
Toilets.
This is for the
All my
bros.
homies. All my homies.
The guy that they fight in this, y'all remember in Force Awakens, there's the one clone tree or stormtrooper that Finn is fighting, like in the big battle scene, is like one of his old homies.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay, but he's the only like stormtrooper that gets like any
That was
ounce of
great.
like being a villain,
It
and
was a great
that
fucking shot.
the guy that's doing that is actually Leanne, who's
Mm.
and
Good
Leanne's
stuff before.
fantastic. Yeah, like talk about the level of just presence he has physically.
I love that shot of them walking in where his crew's in the mirror and then it just switched to Henry Cavill, but the camera just stayed in the same thing. That was fucking great. Once you look at the
This is-
monitor, you're like, fuck yeah. That looks fucking sick.
But it's just great visual storytelling here, right? Because there's so many levels as to what's going on specifically also, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 different agendas in this bathroom
fucking
right
knows
now. And then there's a 4th one that comes up by the end of the scene.
Yeah, also,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that smack in the face with
Yeah.
the and the
It just shows
Eddie
their
Hamilton. They
different
definitely
level
did
of
something with the editing. There's a bit of like a ramp or something.
They probably could have frame out, so it looks like it hits harder.
Yeah,
That's the thing. You ever see like there's a shot in Blade Runner where one of them smacks a gun out of someone's hand and they cut a frame out so it looks
yeah.
like it goes really fast.
You're talking about in the
And
middle when what's his face? The kind of balding dude. I know what you're talking about.
yeah. And it's an interesting technique that can work really well. And I don't know if you saw Monkey Man, I think you did, right? We talked about it.
Yeah,
Monkey Man does that and it like
too
overuses it
much,
because
too much.
I think the thing with those kind of shots is they work really well if the camera's not moving, but the camera's moving so much in that movie that it's really distracting because you can see the frames are clearly missing.
So Sharon, who shot that, he shot a Whiplash also. He's also shooting Dev Patel's next movie also. Or it's not official, but like I follow Sharon on Instagram and he shared the news,
Yeah.
so
I mean, I saw the
he's a part of
announcement
it.
for it, but I guess just what I mean is just that I'm talking about like the missing, like when they cut a frame out so it
Yeah,
looks
I
like
know, I
it's
know.
hitting harder, they ramp
I
it up
I
a
don't
little
like
bit.
it. It's like it works, but it's like every single like little piece like that. It's like you have to use it sparingly, right?
That's what
Because
I
it's
mean,
like
sparingly. Yeah. So
if
like this
you
one,
if
it's
you hit your audience over the head with it, like oh my god, look at this man's physicality. This is straight brawling right here. I
I know
love
that's
this.
when I was rewatching this, I was like, damn, that guy
there's
can
a shot
fucking
in
move.
here
I
where
don't. I've
This
one
seen
of
guy
them
this
can
at
like
least
fucking
20.
move.
falls
I've
and you
seen
can
this
see
20 times
the
minimum.
Wait, is he gonna recharge his mustache yet? It's
he's
coming up.
about to. There's a shot where you can see one of the pieces on the floor like it's like a foam
Bump.
mat. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
bump. I don't know where it is. I can't remember if we passed it already maybe. It's like, do you see how
I
there's like
don't
a
even care.
step that goes up on to go to the
The
bathrooms, like
urinals.
the
Yeah.
urinals? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up there. And I think we passed it already, I think. Fuck.
Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, here we
People
go.
point it out, but I'm
Let's
like, I'm
recharge that
not.
mustache.
It happens so quickly, you don't notice it if you're just watching the movie.
Nice.
I'm always watching the movie.
Oh, there it is. You see that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I saw it
When he
bend
kneels
down.
down on it.
Yeah. You can see it. You can see it bend down.
You see right
Again,
there, it didn't
yeah.
bend.
On a first watch, you're not gonna fucking notice that shit.
Those
The more you
kicks,
watch it, you'll
Leanne's
notice
kicks,
it.
man.
That's
He
what I
is
was saying.
such
I
a
was like, this
beast in
dude is
this.
fucking yeah. When I was
He is a
rewatching this, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? This guy's fucking great.
even the geography in
Just
this
an
scene,
art form. It's just
is
like
fantastic.
a beautiful art form. Like just watching him fight. Why is this guy in a John Wick film?
Yeah, I know. I think he's gone into
Oh shit!
what do you
It's
call it?
Elsa. Oh shit!
He's gone into stunt coordination himself. Actually,
Shit!
that's what kind of happened. A lot of the I was watching Wick is Pain recently, and a lot of the guys that worked on John Wick 1 through 3 just started working for themselves also because that's just eventually what happens is that if you get enough hype, you start stunt coordinating and doing that job
Well,
yourself
the
also.
franchise you're in also takes off. Yeah.
Heidi Moneymaker, who's Scarlett Johansson's like stunt double for Black Widow. She is actually Chad Stahelski's ex-wife now, but she's also I think she did the stunt work for stunt coordination for Thunderbolts. So it's like,
Hmm.
she went from stunt performer to that. Sam
There's some
Hargrave,
pretty
who
good
was
work in
Captain
that.
America, he turned into a director now, right? With Extraction 1, 2. So it's like,
Hmm.
people are growing constantly within, behind the camera stuff like that. I'm glad they got that blood on the
The
floor. Like
blood.
they could pass that. Yeah. Well, I'll see.
Bro, you speak French?
I think it's probably an ADR line, but actually, listen to this. Wiki was talking about it today. He was like Godfather has so much ADR in it, and you can just tell that
Oh
movie
yeah.
is just put together. But like, great films are made that way. It's like it's not a bad thing,
Like,
but it's
I
like
can immediately tell when there's an ADR line, but it doesn't really bother me. Just whatever.
it bothers you if you're wearing headphones. That's about it.
Yeah.
Because like I was watching Creed and like there's one line of ADR where I was like, whoa, jeez. Like it just pulled me out of the movie.
Yeah.
I think
A
it
lot of ADR
depends. I mean,
lines
we
too
were
are
talking about
studio
it too
notes.
the Oppenheimer thing, how he gets all of his ADR on set just in case.
Yeah.
That's actually the first person I thought of was Willie Burton because he was on Deacon's pod, and I'm sure he's working on
Here's
Odyssey right
collateral.
now.
Here's collateral right now. Here's collateral. Right
Exactly.
now.
But Willie's the
Literally
one
pushing
doing
people out
all
of the
the
way.
sound recording. So it's like there's a specific human being who's like in charge of all the audio now, fully for the Odyssey. So I'm just like the guy
Yeah.
is so good at his job, and you know they worked on the IMAX cameras to the point where
I think
they're
we already
making a full IMAX movie.
wrap it up. I think Nolan's got that best picture.
You see how different uh Rebecca looks in this, right?
Yeah. They make her
Like her
not
jaw.
look. It's not like I'm still telling you. Rogue Nation. She's very old Hollywood.
So they I forgot to mention Notorious last time. Like that was one of the references for
Mhm.
them. And North by Northwest. But for
Elizabeth
this one,
Berkley.
uh I think she chose a bit of her costume for this movie,
Mhm.
actually. So this scene was supposed to be she's supposed to be singing, actually. And they cut out all the singing and they essentially added in
I like it better. I like the
this
speech better.
moment. This is all, you know, after principal photography connecting her to, you know, Redgrave's character from the first movie. But it looks great,
seen
right?
The Crown.
Gorgeous.
Even though she like that dialogue is all on what do you call it? Green screen essentially, but it looks good.
Have you seen the Crown?
I've not. I have wanted to watch it though.
Never.
She's in the first 2 seasons. She plays the Queen's sister.
The
It's good in
way
it.
McHugh talks
Really good
about
in it. Honestly,
Kirby.
I know that
the Crown is definitely one of the best
Josh
things Netflix has ever made.
Josh O'Connor's in it, and that's like the
He's in
one thing
season
that I'm like,
3 and
I want to
4.
see it. Yeah, that's what I
That's
hear.
when I noticed because I remember him from God's Own Country, and then when he appeared in season 3 and 4, I was like, wait, I've seen this fucking guy before, and then I was like, dude, this guy's a good fucking actor.
The crazy thing is
And
that
then
they
the
cut out all the
Challengers, I'm like,
singing,
yeah, this guy's my
and it
favorite
still
actor.
sells perfectly.
The one for me was La Chimera, dude. I saw him in that. And I was like, dude,
I saw, yeah.
like,
I got the Blu-ray. I still haven't watched it. I had the Blu-ray of it. That and
oh
fucking
my God.
was the Yorgos movie last year? They're still sitting in a stack over
Oh,
there. I
Kinds
still
of
haven't watched
Kindness.
it. Kinds of Kindness. They're
Dude,
still
I'm
sitting
telling you,
there.
like, Kinds of Kindness, I could understand not watching, but man, like,
I know. I need
La
to watch
Chimera
both.
is
Yeah.
like one of the most beautiful things I've ever
I
seen.
always get
Just, like,
that. I always get a massive stack that just sits there.
Too
I do
beautiful for
too. I mean,
anybody's eyes.
I have a stack right there that I haven't watched yet.
Yeah.
Too beautiful
Actually,
for
that's not true.
anybody's
I've seen-
eyes.
I've seen some of them.
So
Oh. Oh.
Vanessa was having a bit of a time trying to figure out her character, and she's essentially just got a thing for naughtiness. Like she just
Yeah.
likes bad people.
She's not even really in this movie that much.
She's in it perfectly. Like
Yeah.
not too much and not too little.
She's in. It feels
I
like
remember
Dead
her being
Reckoning
in-
more, and even then,
Yeah.
she still feels like she's not in that enough.
Because I remember her
They,
being. I feel like she was in more of this, but then I was like, she's not really in this that much. I mean, she is, but
I forgot she was in this. That's how little she's in it. Because whenever she showed up, I was like, oh, I forgot that she was in this. I thought it was only Dead
and then
Reckoning.
then at
but
the
then I
end,
was
and
like,
when she appears at the end again, I was like, oh yeah, Vanessa Kirby was in this. Completely
so
forgot.
they had to wrap up the story, and they didn't like McHugh didn't want to go anywhere after the hospital bed. He was like, this movie's already too long, but you know the whole wrap up. Well, it was just the fastest way to get it wrapped up. So they brought her back and did that in London.
It wraps
This
up
club's got
very
some good
quickly.
sound. This club's got some good sound barriers.
So at this point, Rebecca Ferguson was actually pregnant at this point because they were supposed to be finished by the time this, you know, they were shooting this, but you know, they came back
They
from
were
like
shooting
a
her from
hiatus.
kind of up higher, more
Yeah.
close-ups.
But no, she was pregnant. I think McHugh said that during this scene, I think she does a flip or something, and they literally just had a bucket, like one of the props for like a champagne bottle, like a bucket. They just had
I
that
love
there,
that.
and like
I love that look of her. Like she got turned on that he like just killed that guy. She
Yeah,
was like,
exactly.
oh.
exactly. So this whole turn of like Tom essentially
What a
being
shot.
John
What
Lark
a
for this
shot.
movie. Oh, you're talking about the leg, yeah.
Yeah.
Another dress that has a slit.
Mhm.
You know, it's a theme. But he compares it to Deep Cover, like a Bill Duke's movie, like Lawrence Fishburne
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
build like
That's
Deep
about
Cover.
92, I think.
Yeah,
It's in the Criterion Collection now.
It
yeah.
is.
So he compares it to that, where it's like Ethan is just going deeper and deeper into this character, this movie, and
Yeah.
you know,
You can see
it's
how
just
he's shooting her more close up and up. She's walking away there, so it's easier.
visually this movie, man. Shoot on film, it looks so good.
Mm.
Those piano keys right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This movie does have some lens flares.
I'm gonna say some of the lens flares, bringing some of that JJ
Yeah.
back from
But
the third movie.
I think it's just like, they're shooting spherical and they're using a lot of practicals in a sense. Like they're going mean and
I don't
lean.
mind. They're not distracting.
Yeah.
I don't mind
But
lens
that's
flares that much. But JJ just
the
was like, yeah.
He
but
just
his was
overuses them, is what it
what
is.
Yeah.
what did I say?
Even in Mission
Literally,
Impossible 3 is
he's
not too
using
bad.
a flashlight. He's
No.
like he's using it as like a stylistic flair that
I
doesn't
think it
need
was
to be
his when he did Star Trek Into Darkness is when I was like, all right, let's take it down a notch.
I'm not
He's
gonna
trying-
say I'm not gonna
You
say
know what
what
he
movie
did?
it was, but there was something
It
I
was-
worked on recently where someone was like legitimately like putting a light into the lens, and it was
Yeah.
to do a lens flare, and I
And
was like,
JJ's
like,
very
we got JJ on set, man.
Take it down, JJ
JJ
Abrams
is
Jr.
guilty of doing that, but it's like he was trying to make it a stylistic thing, and it's like
I
from
mean,
Mean Girls. It's like stop trying to make it
it is
happen.
kind of
Like
it is kind of his style now. Like people associate lens flares with JJ Abrams. So
Yeah, it's
But
like
it's
it's
not
like
a good
becoming
thing.
like a meme at this point.
but it's
Yeah.
not a good thing. It's not
I
a
mean,
good
you
thing.
can you can say that it's not a good thing, but at the same time, like everyone kind of has their own style. Like
yeah,
that's not to say that like it doesn't look
like if I'm
amazing.
watching,
It doesn't.
I'm watching a Spielberg film. Like I know there's going to be a really strong backlight. Like that's a Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg film. Like
If I'm watching a Brian De
But it looks
Palma film,
good.
there's gonna.
It looks
If
fucking
I'm watching a
good.
Brian De Palma movie, there's going to be at least 3 split diopter shots.
Yeah.
minimum, minimum. And that's what I mean. Is like you can say that there's an overuse of
Yeah.
split diopter shots in Mission Impossible 1. That might piss you
It's
off,
just his
but at the same
style.
time, like it's just his style. Same thing with like what I said about Thor and Kenneth Branagh in the first movie.
I was
It's
just about to say that.
everything is just a Dutch angle. Like
I was about to
it's
say
just
that.
how he works, man.
Yeah, the front on, he needs them Dutch angles. That's just his style. He likes the Dutch.
McHugh really thought that this scene inside of the house was like one of his best, like maturely shot scenes, like lighting wise, composition wise.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of dialogue here.
A lot of setups.
But
A lot of setups too.
yeah,
We can I'm gonna get into the Dutch angles, talk a little bit more for Dead Reckoning Part 1 because
yeah, we'll get into it then.
yeah.
Honestly, I have not seen Dead Reckoning Part 1 since theaters 2022.
I thought it
haven't
was
looked
great
at
when I saw
still
it in
haven't
theaters the
seen
other day. Whenever you
since
watched it,
there.
I was like, man, there's a lot of Dutch angles in this.
So I'm curious. I'll be curious to watch it. I'll probably watch it tomorrow. Because I think at that point I was like, I'm Mission Impossible out. Like I can't. I don't like watching this again right now. And that'll probably be me after Final Reckoning. I'll take a couple years off.
A lot of greens, a lot of yellows. I like it. Feels like I'm watching.
Like
a
for
David
these
Fincher
for
movie.
these scenes though, you gotta watch. You gotta watch like a Hitchcock or Spielberg just to see how he does all the blocking. There's a lot of people in this fucking scene.
There it is. And you could easily make the mistake of just doing close-ups on everybody, but he's being very, like,
Mm.
he's being very,
Like the close-ups are in, like
very
useful.
intentional.
Yeah,
When
They
they got
make
to
up
the
Aesthetics
purpose,
are
scene,
yeah.
random. Yeah,
McHugh really
Dude, it's
like
pure
this is
glory.
it was difficult to shoot because this is where you're trying to figure out a lot of the movie, and it became a bit of a headache, but they got it done. This is what we were talking about before. This is one of the first pieces of music that Lauren gave.
Oh, dude, the other day,
cute.
actually, when I was rewatching this, I was like, oh, this scene fucking hits. Like, the music,
Yeah.
everything.
So they so Lauren gave this to McHugh, and then he was just like, yeah, it's just a random piece, like it ain't that important. But McQuarrie was like, yo, hold up, this is like one
This
of the
is
most
good.
important pieces.
yeah.
And they use it like 3 times in the movie.
I like that there's no, like, audio from the actual, like, sequence. It's just...
So
But it's like he's using
Actually-
it as it's Tom Cruise's inner like his
Yeah.
if
This is
this
like his
actually happened,
nightmare.
this would be his nightmare. Like this type of music,
Exactly.
like this is his
So
nightmare.
Which is
Eddie,
funny to think about because like you would think that the nightmare music would be like much darker and it would be much more like
Yeah,
it's almost like
I think this is
tragic. Like
kind of
this
this is kind of dark. It's
it's
like it's just
melancholic.
it's like
it's dark,
depressing.
but it's dark. But
It's
what I mean is that it's
melancholy.
not like dark and heavy. It's dark in
Yeah.
like a very like tragic way.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Little heat mask.
And Holly or sorry, whose word am I thinking about? Okay, so Eddie Hamilton, the editor, he was like, we have to put in sound effects. Like that's the only way to truly sell this. And McQuarrie stuck to his guns. Even the studio was really, really irked with all the dream sequences in this movie because they're all very intense and they're like, this just doesn't feel like mission.
This
And that's the
this
whole
one's
point.
the thing with that though is that like it doesn't really feel like a dream sequence when you're watching it. The first one, the opening scene, I was like, okay, this is a dream sequence from the beginning. This one
Yeah.
didn't really feel like it. It almost does feel like you're like in the POV of like him, and then you realize like, oh, this is just like his worst nightmare, like having to do
Yeah.
something like this. What other scene is there that there's a dream sequence?
I think there's one more with Michelle. Or wait, no, not the openings. I think these are the two in the movie. But like they were
Yeah.
like the studio was being like real, you know, they're trying to say something about it. Obviously, they stuck to their guns and they were being, suggestive because they were still letting
The
McHugh
studios are
and
gonna
Tom do what
studio,
they
man.
wanted.
Yeah.
But they were like,
Studios are
"Oh,
gonna
this is
studio.
not.
Studio's gonna have
This is
notes. They're
not.
gonna always gonna have
This is
notes.
not Tom. This is not Ethan. This is not Mission
what I was saying,
Impossible." But it's like we need to go away from the formula.
A lot
this
of
is like this is the perfection of like getting away from the mission stuff, but also keeping the mission stuff.
ADR lines off screen are studio notes. Basically
Well,
explaining
I have heard of
explaining
some
what's
really dumb
happening,
studio notes, man.
like
It's so funny.
explaining what's happening in the scene. I mean, one of the most famous studio notes is
Blade Runner, Harrison Ford, yeah.
E.T.
They shot this
when
beautifully.
Spielberg pitched like the really shitty E.T. too, just so they couldn't
Yeah.
make it. Or the Back to the Future when they wanted to call it, studio exec wanted to call it Spaceman from Pluto, and then Spielberg
Yeah.
was like, "I'll handle this," and he basically said, "That was a nice joke, thanks."
Everybody's laughing on set.
Yeah.
So we all know the turn right here. It's so good,
I mean,
that, just handing the phone and like, oh my God, it's the wrong phone. Blah, 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 perfect.
that's John Lark. Damn, Angela Bassett really did that thing.
She always does. I got to rewatch Strange Days. That's been sitting on my mind recent years. Catherine Bigelow.
No Blu-ray for it yet.
Which is BS.
Why never will
but
be.
There's no Blu-ray for what's it called either?
Near Dark.
Near-
No, the
Near
Near
Dark,
Dark has
yeah.
a blue. It has
Is
a
that a
Blu-ray.
Does it? No,
has
I
a
mean there's a
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray, but it's not a US one, so you gotta import it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they'll get a 4K. There's a
He
4K I
needs one.
could import it. / I wouldn't do it now thanks to Orange Cheeto, but wait, do you have a region free player? I know 4K is a region free, but do you have a region free player?
I don't
you
have
don't?
one that works currently. Like I did have one, but
Hmm.
a
'Cause I was, like,
region
looking
free
at
Blu-ray player is just a hacked player, is all it is.
Yeah.
You got to be careful where you get them because you could always get one that works for a few months and that might be it for a while.
Then it
but
stops
yeah.
working. Yeah.
yeah.
I found a
to know the
site
truth,
that,
there's a
like,
lot of
one
great
trap.
people online who make bootlegs of movies on eBay, and that's just how I get a lot of movies that are like region free, like bootleg Blu-rays. And it sucks because the
Mhm.
studios aren't going to do that.
No.
Great
But some people do
insert.
say that some of the
Great insert.
region B sometimes will work in your
It depends on the
US player.
manufacturer and the studio.
Yeah.
They use so this is one of the two locations they also use in John Wick 4.
You know what's
Yeah,
wild?
There's one more.
Paris.
You know what's wild? Adolf Hitler stood right there.
I was trying to go one pod.
To
I was
just
trying to
get-
go one pod without
It's
mentioning that person.
when he's
Jeez.
in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, so
when
you're
they took
you're
over.
fine. You're fine with him saying Osama bin Laden every single
Yeah.
episode, but you
When's
don't
the
like
last time
Hitler?
you saw?
Look at that segue. Look at that segue.
When's the last time you saw John Lark?
I always think that's where my mind goes.
Not
Hey
Hitler,
man,
but Osama bin Laden is fine. That's where we draw
that's
the
where you
line.
draw the line.
They set this up perfectly. Every single bit of this is
Oh,
perfect.
I always come in with those history facts. It's a very famous photo.
You're gonna enjoy Andor whenever you watch it, history wise. Just the allusions they make to history,
I need to finish.
especially
No, it's done.
season 2, French Revolution.
Mandalorian's
Geography,
gonna be
fantastic.
at Vidiot's May 31. Michael Clayton. A 35 millimeter.
Again, this whole entire stint of the movie that's about to go for about 20 minutes, there's bare to no dialogue for the most part.
Yeah.
And he talks about it that they went through the whole movie. He's so proud of the sound design because they were trying to make sure that you're thrilled, you're here with them, but you're not like losing the pace of the movie and you're not getting tired of it either.
He's back.
And like I said, John Lark, you cannot tell me this is the same man. He looks so different.
Hmm. Yeah.
What do y'all think about the hair? We
No,
mentioned it, but we didn't talk
Other
about it
countries
fully.
do that. I mean, he's got great hair in all of them, to be honest.
I like it. So when he gets on the
We,
motorcycle for this one, listen to this. They had a Mini Cooper with like a rig connected to another motorcycle where he could be on it and they could get some real cool shots. They get there that day to shoot it, and the Cooper won't start. So they tried 30 minutes, they couldn't figure it out. They're like,
That's a classic film set.
and literally, it's like whatever.
It's not
He
starting.
got on a different bike. He was just like the bike that he's on in the movie. He's like, okay, like we have 2 hours to shoot this. Like, let's get going. We don't have time.
Mhm.
Or no,
Um,
not 2 hours, 30 hour and a half. And
can
they didn't even
can
look at the footage afterwards.
can we talk about how this is the only movie where Henry Cavill is like actually good?
That's what I've
Yeah.
been
Like
saying
not
the whole
just like
time.
good, but like great. Like and the
He's
thing
good.
is like
He's good
this
in Man of
this
Steel.
Look at
role
his,
doesn't really need to like have
but
him
he's-
Let me see
really
his
do too
filmography.
much.
He's fantastic.
He's
in
good.
this.
He's good as Superman. I think he's good, but I think that the movies really like
They hinder him.
they
He
hinder
doesn't
him.
have enough
Yeah.
to work with him.
I'm not like
Zack Snyder
anti-Snyder. I
fundamentally-
love Snyder.
No, but he fundamentally misunderstood what Superman was, and you brought a lot of conflict to him, but it's not conflict. At least, when it gets to Man of Steel, where it's like the conflict is a bit up and down. And his whole like
He's
end
good
game
in,
of like y'all know the end game of like, oh, Batman is supposed to have an affair with Lois, and then he's supposed to have his
Yeah.
like Lois has his child, and it's like, what are you talking about? What is this is like is riffraff nonsense.
He's
Like,
good
what
in
are you doing?
Man from Uncle.
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
that's true.
I think he's good when he's being
He's
directed
not as
by
great as this.
Guy Ritchie.
No.
Guy Ritchie. He's like a
Fuck
perfect
Guy
actor
Ritchie.
for a Guy Ritchie movie.
I think I've said it on this pod before, but fuck Guy Ritchie, man.
I like
He's in
him.
Argyle.
I don't know what we're gonna say.
Forget he's in Argyle.
Fuck Argyle, man.
I couldn't bring myself to watch that.
What did I
Even
say
though I
about
love Dua
Matthew,
Lipa.
Matthew Vaughn?
Even though I love Sam Rockwell, even though I
What'd I
love
say-
Bryce Dallas Howard.
my Matthew Vaughn Guy Ritchie is Guy
Here we
Ritchie
go.
makes the
Lock
films that
in.
Matthew Vaughn wants to make.
Lock in.
Let's go.
This is how you use a budget in every single way possible. This is how you use a budget.
Oh no. Ethan the
Is there CGI? Of course there's CGI, but like it's used properly. And this is tank work, this is set work. It's everything put together perfectly. And the visual
What the hell
storytelling.
is he doing?
What is he doing?
What the hell is he doing?
I love that all these dudes
I've driven a
just,
truck that size. They are very big trucks.
yeah.
That's how big
I,
the camera
I hate
trucks
Do
are.
you have
doing
a
it.
license? Don't you have to have a license to drive it? Certain
No.
amount. 18 wheelers you have to have a license. A certain
18
license.
wheelers
You
do.
have, you
Something
have to have a
like these.
CDL.
Some like
'Cause I
these
guess
are
there are,
fine
like,
because
There are like U-Hauls that look that you can drive like this.
Yeah, I've
You
driven a
might be able to see
25
it, but
foot.
do you see how the wheel is like further in and you have to like how do I
Yeah.
explain it? Like you have to like lean forward to like drive it. They're scary to drive low key, especially in
I don't
Atlanta
like it.
traffic.
I don't
I
like it
don't
one
love
bit.
it, but
You
luckily
drive
the
them in
big
LA
thing with
traffic.
well, that's the thing is the first time I had to drive one, I was kind of nervous because they're so big and Atlanta traffic is so awful. But the the good thing about film and working in film is that you wake up really early to get these
Yeah,
things. So there's no
that's
one on the
true.
road. And then by the
Yeah,
time that
that's
you
true.
whenever you're done finishing or you're done shooting
It's
wherever you are for
super
that
late.
day, it's super late, so there's no one on the road.
Yeah.
Like that is one thing I was like, okay, so this is doable. But yes, even
Easy.
with the amount of traffic that there is, they're pretty scared to drive.
I'm pretty sure that device is just like a voice, like a audio recorder
It's
that
an
they
audio
just
recorder, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
It looks like there's an XLR input on the top of it.
Yeah, I love this.
This
Wherever they found this
this
location,
is
this is
this a
awesome.
European vacation reference? Probably. Nice. Here
I
we
think we're
go.
going on at least 6 minutes since there's been like major dialogue.
Since they were talking about Lark
This mission,
or
yeah,
Well,
since they
the
were
what's
talking
yeah,
his
about
face,
this
yeah.
specific whole
but
thing.
anything like relevant, essentially. Like, there's not a lot of like relevant dialogue that's
Yeah.
going on now. It's all like the storytelling is very visual from here in Paris till
Hmm.
they get to the till he whatever cuts down and jumps under the thing into the water. I'm glad that they have Simon Pegg. He probably has his boat license or something. Like he knows how to drive a boat. It's awesome.
I don't think
Makes it
you
easier.
need a license to drive a
I don't think you
boat.
do. My nephew's like 13 and he can drive a
Actually,
boat.
I think you do. I think you do need a license.
maybe it's in like certain parts of
Depending
like
depending on
areas.
what it is, yeah. If it's a jet ski, I don't think you do. But if you're gonna be like an actual like for that, I don't know. Slash, this is in France, but like if you're driving like an actual boat, like yeah, you have to have a license, even if it's like a smaller like
Look at
boat that you
this.
buy.
Look at this on the cobblestone. This bike was, oh man, this is just insane. So they had 4 hours to get all this. They did all this bike work within one day.
I like that bike
Some
he's
good
on
fucking
too.
shit.
The bike was not
When he
made for
goes
these
around
stunts, but like
the
it's fantastic.
when he
You know
goes
what they
around
said?
the in the freaking roundabout, the arc, whatever.
Yeah,
That's fucking sick. That's the best
they
part.
had they
Kind
had
of a good
90
callback with
minutes that.
John
The
Wick
Arc de
too.
what is it called? Arc de
Yeah,
Triomphe or something.
yeah,
Triumph.
Arc de Triomphe, which oh, there's three locations that they have similar to John Wick for. But
Hmm.
There's this, yeah.
but y'all believe that they shot all this in one day?
That's good. That's good. Good assistant director work.
Yeah. And the thing is that they shot all this, and he was like, I'm not even looking at this while we're in Paris. He's like, literally, if it does not work, we're just gonna cut it, and no one has to know we did this.
Yeah,
But
But
then
like
what was
I
the
this
think I remember
plan?
them. I remember they were filming this.
It was all over the internet. I remember
Yeah, I
that.
remember they were filming this. Yeah,
one day. So the Arc de Triomphe, they
there we
shot this in
go.
the morning, and then after they were done with that, they went and took 4 hours and shot the rest of it.
This shot right here.
Him like flipping over is so fucking good.
It's
So
fucking sick.
you see all these CG cars. It's still, they had 40 cars there, but still, it works.
That
It works
shot
better than the
when you
last
get like
movie.
the full scale with the sunrise. That's fucking
Because
gorgeous.
when they shot this for John Wick 4, it's a full CG. They're not
Mm,
even there, but it still looks great. This shot right here
yeah.
of it going around him, there's a great B-roll of this, and literally you can just hear him counting 1, 2, 3, and then he just takes off.
Hmm. There we
Yeah,
go.
bro. That's a good
Boom.
shot. Him like flying into it.
This
Yeah.
is what was online. This shot right here, which they might have taken another day to do, but like that main part of it all, one day, which is
One day. You said
crazy.
4 hours.
4 hours for all this stuff outside of Arc de Triomphe, and then the Arc de Triomphe itself, they had 90 minutes.
Him jumping to the bushes is so
Like
fucking
their
good
their permit was for 2 hours, but 30 minutes before dawn and
for the
then
movie.
90 minutes to shoot. This is the third location that's similar to
Nice.
what do you call it? To John
John Wick.
Wick. Except in John Wick, Dan Lastenson actually puts a lot of lights down here.
What I love
A
about this
lot of
too is
lights.
like
This one you have one light right there, right? They
like
just
with
strapped one
Benji,
light on. It's
with
fantastic.
Benji there, like Benji's like if this was an earlier movie, Benji'd be so nervous to do all this.
Yeah,
Benji's
but
just
he's
doing his
perfect.
job. He's doing his
So
job now.
at
Doesn't
this
have to worry
point,
about that shit anymore.
this is the lull. This is the break from the tension.
Mm-hmm. I
They
mean, that was
give
a
you a
long,
little bit.
that was a whole long sequence.
So you see this lighting? We have only one part that's lit, but if you go watch John Wick 4 when they go to drop him off before like the start of the third act, there's the entire thing is lit. They did so much lighting on that one. Y'all know what part I'm talking about, right? The part where he's like,
Yeah.
what do you write on my grave is like, friend or, good husband.
It's an interesting, like, patriotic kind of triumphant. It's like a
Yeah,
triumphant,
the stairs.
you know.
So
Yeah.
this scene right here, Tom is the one who said this has to be a woman in this. And there's 5 women in this movie,
This is
and
like
every
this is what
single one of them is
again
fantastic.
reminds me of The Town, where it's like, oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
The one in the
Yeah.
town is like played
'Cause
for
after
laughs, so
all
this
that,
is one where I'd
yeah.
say that like
So-
even
yeah.
kind of brings
well,
his
it's like
humanity back.
also after all that, it's like,
For a
oh shit, like we're right
for
here.
a moment it's funny, yeah. For a moment it's
Yeah.
funny, then you realize like, oh shit, this is real. Like what are we
Yeah,
gonna do?
like, fuck. Yeah, like how are you gonna get the fuck out of this now?
The main thing that
Is this the same location as Inception?
Inception. Yep. I knew he was gonna
Yes.
say it. It's in a
I
few
mean, they film
different movies.
they film a lot of movies here. Yeah, just
So
kind of like a
I think this is
landmark now.
I think her name's like Alice Benechek, and McHugh very much counts her in the same line as Ilsa, Vanessa Kirby's character. Everybody, all the women in this movie, that Michelle Monaghan's character, that all these women have their own story, and
Mhm.
they're not in service of Ethan's story, but they kind of knock him out of his own orbit. That's the way he kind of plays it
Yeah.
as being, and they all have their stories, and it plays out so well with everybody, every single one of them. And Tom Cruise was 100% right. This has to be a woman. The effect of this
Mhm.
story is so much more
Yeah.
like the
It
umph
makes
is
it
better.
makes the 4 other guys seem way more ruthless than Ethan's
Even
team.
worse than they actually are.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like in your mind, Ethan just killed
Such a
4 guys
Western
right
moment.
there. He just killed 4 guys right there. But you're not as like, yeah, well, he saved her.
Yeah.
Like,
She was
'cause
just
it-
doing her job.
yeah.
In any other
like,
movie, they would have just
making
left,
them,
but like
yeah,
this
making
is
them look
the
shitty.
this is the
Yeah, that's
other
a,
umph.
that was a very Western right there. Quick draw.
It does kind of
Yeah.
also seem like kind of not a direct callback, but in like the 5th movie where Ilsa is trying to take the drive and then he meets with her
Yeah.
again. And he's like, listen,
Yeah.
you're just doing your job, man. I get it. Like I would have done the same
Mhm.
thing, but it's just a much more human and intimate moment for him to like kill those other 4 guys and then immediately just be like, call for help, but do not mention me.
Yeah.
It's like, I let you live. Don't make me regret it.
Yeah.
So here we go. And then now, it's been 13 minutes now, and now we're into the other part. Right? That there's
Yeah, it's
no
almost like
rare to no dialogue.
It's almost like an
from
act
here.
2. It's like an act 2.
Yeah.
You forget about Rebecca Ferguson.
And there's not a lot of percussion here, because it's like once you hit percussions, then it's like you're hitting the more thrilling music. Your beat is going faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now the percussion cut out. We're going diegetic. Out, 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 Listen to the sound design. We're ripping Ronan. We're ripping John Frankenheimer, but we're doing it
Mm-hmm.
in Paris. We're doing it
This is that what we were talking about the last
fantastically.
episode.
Yeah.
Where he's like,
Yeah.
that's Ilsa. He's like, shut up. He's like,
Yeah, that's
interesting.
Ilsa. Interesting. It's like a Peter Lorre, but like softer. Interesting.
I mean
It's-
this is this shot right here coming in to them in the car.
Yeah.
Fantastic. This is legitimately, this
The-
is cinema to me.
I think it's really interesting to think that he's able to identify that it's Ilsa without even seeing her face because he knows how she drives.
Yeah.
Because she has the helmet on, I think the entire shot, doesn't she?
So
I think she
all
lifts it
the
up when he hits her. I think
Yeah,
she
Let's
lifts it
see.
up.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Hold
yeah, yeah.
on.
So
No, no, she doesn't. Look at this.
she lifts up the
No,
eye
when
gauge
she gets in
afterwards. Like
in front of him, and that's when he hits her with the
Visor.
car.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the driver that actually does this, I think she's like one of the top motorcycle drivers in the world, and she's just like she'll literally if you have a chance to like drive with her, she'll probably kill you. She'll give you a heart
You know
attack.
what's
That's how
funny
intense
though
she
is that
drives.
when you're watching the shot
Look at him drive.
where Ilsa like rolls off of it or she falls off or something, you can tell that it's
Yeah,
not her. And then they
Yeah.
switch the shots and it's like, okay, that's her.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right now when we get to when he spins out and you see the exhaust drop off.
It's
Look at this.
that's
I love
I've
it.
never noticed that. That's funny.
That's fucking the whole funniest part about this is that he's just
I
sitting
told
next
you.
to him.
I told you, like, I've
straps
seen this
up.
so many times. Like, this is my comfort movie. This is my like, this is my Mean Girls.
I'm telling you, I don't think she lifts her visor. And if she
She
I think it's
does,
will.
right here.
She will.
I think it's right here.
Oh, so good.
Maybe she doesn't.
So you also this whole scene of Rebecca like
yeah,
Ilsa
driving
zooming
through.
past. So next to that is
Oh, no, you're right.
the place
right
where
there.
she they have the
Damn, I
scene
should have bet that.
where Tom and where Ethan and Ilsa meet by the trees. That's right next to that location, and they found that location. They're like, oh yeah, this conversation needs to happen there. And I love this conversation too, right? It's just
Yeah.
looks, but like they sell a whole conversation that you know they're both on the same page, but at this current moment they're not on the same page, and
Yeah. Well, then they have
it's the
this
whole
scene right after.
spycraft thing, and
Yeah.
very interesting.
Very interesting.
Good line.
Very interesting. That's great. Like he waits
you
that
see
long
they
to
like
say, "It's good to see you again, Ethan."
There is a line that they come back to as well where Henry Cavill's character Walker says to Ethan like like Hunt's the closest friend you have, and it's because you guys just keep kind of playing this cat and mouse thing. And it's I
Mm.
love when movies have that sort of like reputation and that sort of banter with like antagonist, protagonist, whatever it is.
This shot
Mhm.
again, they're replicating the shot that's at the airport in the beginning, just a little bit, following the car, the lead car
Mhm.
into a set.
Damn, look at that
Great
grain.
set, great location choice. That's what I'm saying. Like this movie has grain, but it looks
Yeah.
fantastic. Like
Looks good.
imagine
Yeah.
seeing this movie on film. Like this would be like a film projection. It would be awesome.
Yeah. I guess in 2028, 10-year reunion. Nah, they probably wouldn't put it in.
And it took what? It was about 18 minutes. It's just a thrilling 18 minutes.
Good beard. We'll leave this house in 60 seconds. Nice. War of the Worlds line right there. 60 seconds.
This is how you do, your dialogue, right? The tension's
Yeah.
there, right? We have to get going, but like we're delivering the character work real well right here.
While we're trying to take out the fucking thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like we know it doesn't take this long, but
Mm.
perfect.
Time in movies
This
is
is
different.
Shoot Cavill separate.
Yeah, singles them out a little bit.
or the what do you call it? The height of the shot also.
Yeah,
Mm.
he's behind him.
Or yeah, blocking also, you're right.
He's right behind him and he's on his
Yeah.
side.
Right behind
That
him,
the
yeah.
shadow, like Gordon Willis level shadow on Ethan's face.
Yeah.
And on his too, actually.
This was the trailer.
Yeah, this was all over the trailer. Remember this shit?
And the power will be in your
What do y'all think of Imagine Dragons friction playing during that trailer? I love that
I
trailer.
don't even
I think the
I love that
trailer is
trailer.
good.
I don't
I
even-
think
I
it's
don't even
kind of
remember.
It is
strange
metal.
that
I just remember-
Imagine
It is
I just remember
Dragons.
that
metal.
dialogue.
Like every time I only listen to that song because like I remember the trailer.
They've had a weird career, Imagine Dragons. It's just one of those things where I think the trailer works really well, but Imagine Dragons has kind of
I'm not
become something
talking
like a
about them in
meme.
general. No, yeah, I'm not worried
It's
about
Yeah,
kind
them
of
in
they're like
general.
funny.
they're the new Nickelback of the internet.
Great
Everyone
sound
loved them
design
for
here.
5 years and then
This is how you save
never
budget.
again
Yeah.
talked about.
This is you invest in sound design so you can save budget. That's how you do it right there. You don't have to show any ambulances. You just hear them coming and then they go away.
It's like Grand Theft Auto. Just gotta hide. Well, go away. And you can go back outside.
I've never, this is going to sound insensitive. I've never really liked Paris in a lot of movies, but recently they've been doing it well. I think I
Wow.
like
Did
it
you
in
not
Da
watch the
Vinci
French
Code.
New Wave?
I mean, I'm talking about like
What
American
is wrong with
movies.
Paris? What is wrong with Paris?
American
You say it right
American
now.
movies.
American. Oh, that's fair.
Not the Born Identity.
I mean, it's not really prevalent as a character there. It works well in Inception, it works well in this, it works well in John Wick. Now I got to go watch some new. I've got plenty of new wave to watch. I have not gotten into, but I think I rewatched Umbrellas of Cherbourg recently, like within the last 6 months.
Let's
That
get
was a good
a
one.
Criterion 4K. I just got 4K like a month
Or
ago.
Jacques Demy, man, fantastic.
Titi.
The reason why I like his work, it's like a perfect mix of like, you know, the Western and the Eastern like filmmaking. I love that movie.
Mhm.
I'm like, this shouldn't work, but it works so well.
It works if you make it work. That's what they have. New,
Actually, I'm surprised you
filmmaking.
don't like it more. Like, it's got that very almost Roman holiday sort of vibe to me personally.
No, it's a great film. I want to get the 4K actually, but I just recently finally picked up the Blu-ray, and of course, as soon as you do that, guess what we're doing?
Yeah, I'll get
But
it at
he
some
has like a
point.
set. He has a set. So
Jacques
it's
Demy.
like, yeah, Criterion has a set of his. So
Yeah,
should I
I'm
just
the kind
get
of person that like if you have one movie in your collection and it's part of a set and it's like got its own individual one, I'm gonna buy the set
I
just because
gotta
it would
get
drive
into
me
I might
Roma.
nuts.
I might get the
It would
4K of
drive
that,
me
but I want the set
nuts.
though.
It would drive me nuts if I bought the single movie and I loved it and I was like, I want to watch more of this guy's movies and I had to buy the set. And I own this movie separately.
Yeah.
I
Rebecca
love a
chose
good
this
box
outfit.
set.
I'm kind of pissed that Barnes and Noble doesn't keep the box sets in stores anymore.
So
Some of the
this is
ones
the
that I
piece
go
of
to do.
music
But during
that's
during the
playing.
sale Criterion obviously has them for 50% on their website, I think too.
This
So you
is the
can
same music that's playing
just get
during
the set
the
on their
dream
site,
sequence.
Yeah.
The dream sequence we saw before.
or you can get Barnes and Noble to probably order.
So this little chase
Oh yeah,
is
here, same thing.
this is Tom's
You
idea.
definitely can.
Like we can do the scene, but like they got to chase each other a little bit. Actually, this
Yeah.
reminds me of Casino Royale, Loki, third act, Italy,
Mm.
Venice.
Vesper.
It's romantic. I love it. But
I
it's
think
like
this is the closest one, like Mission Impossible movie, where it feels like there's overlap with any of the James Bond films, and that would be like the Bond
uh,
era, like the
this
Craig Bond era.
this movie feels. I think Casino Royale. Yeah, you're right. But I think that's
It,
probably
it
why I love it so
it
much.
feels like
that
it has the most crossover, and it feels like it has the most overlap with like a lot of the themes, a lot of what's happening. So not to say it's like even remotely similar in terms of plot or story. I just mean like in terms of like the tone,
vibe,
what it's
vibe,
doing,
yeah.
the vibe, everything. Tonally, this is the one that feels the most like Casino Royale to me. And I personally think out of all the Bond movies, like the Craig Bond movies, Casino Royale is the best one.
Spoilers
Not
for
the
Dead
best one.
Reckoning. Spoilers for Dead Reckoning. I still don't agree with them killing her. I understand why they did it, but I don't agree with it one bit. I love this character so much.
He has to film Silo season 3.
Fuck Silo.
She's got scheduling conflicts, man. Gotta kill her off. Maybe she only agreed to come back to be killed off.
I don't want to look at Martine because I don't want to see an inkling of a reaction.
I
pure
I have been
denial.
very good about not
I'm
saying
not
a
saying.
single word
Yeah,
about
I
Final Reckoning.
appreciate
All
it.
right, tell
Do
us right
not
now.
sit here.
Does Anthony Hopkins
I
come back?
I I looked. I opened this month. I've opened Twitter twice. Like I opened it yesterday and I deleted it right off my phone again. Like I don't want to know anything. I'm off the grid.
Just does Anthony Hopkins come back? Please let me
He
know.
he comes back. Like I told you, we already said this. He comes back and
Portal
he's like,
Z.
he says pause all motor functions, and then Ethan is actually,
Yeah,
you know,
in Westworld.
this is all Westworld. You know, he
This is Westworld season
Dolores
5.
comes out of nowhere, and Tanwy Newton and John Wick.
Didn't
I mean,
didn't
in John Woo's whatever Mission Impossible 2 is actually Maeve from Westworld. So it's all connected.
didn't HBO like delete Westworld?
Yes, they did. They were very spiteful that Jonah Nolan and Lisa Joy went over to Amazon for Fallout, so they took it off of HBO Max.
Um,
I love this stuff. This is this movie has a lot of spycraft going on, but it's like very much aligned to Ethan's personal emotional story too. So I love this stuff, man.
Great location.
I think he's limping in real life by this point. I think he broke his talus bone. Remember I was talking about Wade Eastwood,
yeah,
stunt guy. He broke his talus bone about a
you
year
were right.
before.
There was another dream sequence,
Yeah,
so that was 3. My bad.
yeah.
I
So
forgot about this
talus
one.
bone. I love it. I love dream sequences when they're done correctly, and it's like those moments. It's like that's how you go into someone's psyche, whether it's a Bollywood musical number or it's is this sort of thing, right?
Did you see that look he gave him?
Menacing.
Mm.
I love it.
When you rewatch this movie knowing that he is who he is,
Context, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
But
so
it's like
interesting to think
And
about like the small little
they both were
looks.
looking at him there. They both were looking at him. Is this Dark Knight Rises?
right.
It might be the same location. Not gonna lie.
Back to
That son of
London,
a bitch, he
baby.
stole our shot.
Back to London, baby. Let's go. Michael Caine.
And then now we had about a 9 minute, 10 minute break, and now we're back to the action. To some there's gonna be a little bit more, dialogue, but the story picks up again.
You know it's
Mhm.
crazy because after this
It's
scene,
done.
Listen to
and it's a
this.
Cut there.
pretty
Y'all are
extensive scene.
y'all aren't gonna believe this. This man McHugh wrote all this stuff in this scene within an afternoon. He's like, oh,
I believe
everything
it.
fell in together. He's like, oh, I wrote this within an afternoon. It was
What
perfect.
they
It was easy.
what they do with Baldwin here is great.
Baldwin asked if he comes back. He's like, I want to die saving Ethan in some way, shape, or form. And then
I mean,
he
does he
loved
die?
doing the. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That
dies
No,
in
is
this
actually,
scene.
actually, that's the perfect thing. Listen to your. I wasn't doing the story. So he shot this, and he's like, "Damn, it sucks that I can't work for y'all anymore. Like, I really loved this, and now y'all killed me off." And then McHugh is like, "Oh, Mission 7 opening. You're in the movie, but it just says 2 years later, like 2 years before, or something like that." Like,
Mm.
and you know what he actually compares it to? It was like it's like at the stroke of a pen, literally you can bring back Luke Skywalker, and he was comparing it to the Last Jedi. And people being mad about that. And the guy's like, "Yo, we're not gonna
Well, I
get
think this
into
is
that. Calm
it's
down,
like
McHugh."
what they do is like they kind of just leave him and he's still kind of moving with his stomach wound. And then I think you'll see him again, do you? I don't remember.
Who?
No, they
Oh,
leave him.
he dies in the movie, but
Alec Baldwin dies. Yeah,
yeah, he dead, only dead.
this scene's pretty lengthy, and
But it's
it goes on.
fantastic.
No, it's a
It's
great scene.
for a
I'm just saying that the
reason,
scene is
yeah.
lengthy. It's for a reason. But what I'm saying is just that like after this scene, the movie
Nonstop.
doesn't stop. Like it just keeps
Yeah,
going.
it keeps
But
going.
that's the thing. It's like, if you try to break down the structure of this movie, I mean, it works. It's nothing where it's like, a definitive first, second, third act of me. And it's just good writing. I don't like to, it's like you can critique a movie with the acts, but it's like when you're trying to write it, it's not conducive.
Mhm. But once you know what they're doing here, though, you're like, oh, that was a good fucking scene.
But that's the thing.
because they're tricking him.
This is the
entire
second time in the
time.
movie they do this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That they're playing the tension yet again. That like,
Mm.
hey,
And it's
we're
all
doing drama.
play. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all play for against Henry Cavill.
I do love Ving's get up in this. I love Simon's get
Yeah.
up in this. Everybody's got
fresh.
very distinctual
I know so Simon's got the bow tie
costuming.
now.
Yeah. And he's got the check shirt. He's keeping with the British the Britishness essentially of his
Yeah.
character, more or less.
He's in his homeland.
And Ethan, by no choice, essentially, he's got a very specific outfit on because now he's gonna have to, go on a whole chase, and there's a lot going on, right?
That's a nice fucking jacket he's got on, man. I'm kind of want that jacket. It's like a jean type. It's like a jean jacket.
Yeah, it's a
nice. It's nice. It looks
I forgot the
thin
word.
though. Looks fucking nice.
It
Denim?
is.
Denim,
It's almost denim, but
Nice.
it's not.
I was
It's
gonna
like
say it's
a,
not denim. It's like a. I can't.
it's
tell what
almost like a
material that is.
cashmere-ish
Yeah.
kind of,
It's nice though. Easy, all black, but still looks fucking good. Damn,
perfect.
that's good.
Perfect
Good
pushing.
editing. Good editing. Right
Perfect
there.
pushing.
Whenever you guys saw this for the first time, did you know that Henry Cavill was the bad guy from
About
how long
like
did it take
halfway
you
through,
to realize?
Yeah.
I
No,
started
no,
to get a
no.
little
What do you
suspicious.
mean
Like, and then
halfway
this scene,
through?
I was like,
What do you mean halfway through? What are you talking about? When he hands him the phone, when he hands Angela Bassett's character the phone, and it's a different phone. From there he's the bad guy.
Yeah, but when you're watching this for the first time, like you don't really notice
Yeah.
stuff like
I didn't
that.
notice that.
I did.
Yeah, don't yell at me.
Don't fucking yell at us. We're all watching the same
if my
movie.
mother,
You've watched it maybe 18 times.
if my
You've
mother-
watched this
Four.
18 times. Yeah, don't. You know what?
I've seen it 4.
Pat, mute him right now. You and me
I do have the
talk
power.
about.
I do have the power to mute. I can kick
No,
you out too.
So here's the thing: is the first time I watched this, it was like during this scene. It wasn't quite where they actually revealed it. I was like, something fishy is going on. Like, I think he's the bad guy because we don't actually know who John Lark is.
If I'm being perfectly honest, that scene of him switching the phone, I went to the bathroom during that scene because I didn't even see it. It's the first time. Because when I watched it again, I was like, oh,
when
I
I,
didn't remember this scene.
I saw the movie. I went on vacation to Orlando. I was in Universal and I dropped off my parents. They were like going to sleep. I was like, hey, I'm going to go see whatever Fallout again. So I ran to the theater back at Universal City Walk, and literally, I think I got there when the plane sequence is happening. I was real late, but great third rewatch.
You'd already seen it though.
I'd already seen it
depending
two times.
depending on what movie it is, I don't like to go to the bathroom during a movie. But
I never go to the bathroom during a movie.
If I'm watching a movie,
I always gotta go to the bathroom during a movie now, man.
It depends on the movie. It also depends on how much water I'm drinking that day.
That's what I was about to say. You got to pace yourself.
Depending on what movie it is,
Gotta
if
hydrate
I know
yourself,
I'm gonna
though.
see it again, I'll go to the bathroom. I'll
But-
just like remember what scene it is. so I
Yeah.
don't
You
go
have
again
to
next time.
just
That's
cut,
true.
if you like for Killers of the Flower
I'll
Moon,
know, too, like-
I was on I did a 3 hour no intake, and then after that, once the movie started, I had
Yeah.
water. I had a liter of water and
You
popcorn, and I
see,
didn't have to get
my
out the whole
thing is
movie.
that it depends on how into the movie I am because like Avatar:
me
The Way of
too.
Water, dude. Like I had to
Like-
pee the entire movie and I didn't
Yeah.
get up.
That was me
once.
yesterday at Kingdom of Heaven. I knew there was like 30 minutes left, but it was the end. I was like, I don't want to fucking get up though, because this is fucking good shit. But I was like, as it ending, I was like, dude, this movie needs to end. I have to go to the bathroom so fucking bad. Like,
My problem
but
was
there's also times when I'm watching a movie too. That's like, I know like I'm never gonna watch this movie again. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
when I saw West Side
It's like, I
Story
don't
for the
really give a
first
shit.
time, like the 2021 like Spielberg's, I think when when the murder happens in West Side Story, like there's an hour left, and I was like, I have to go to the bathroom, but I'm not getting up. Like my bladder was hurting by the end of that movie, and then then I
that's the
started
only thing I don't like
managing my
about it because it's
intake.
like, especially if I'm really into the movie, it's like it's distracting to me, so then it pulls me out of the movie because like I have to go to the bathroom so fucking bad right now.
But I learned my lesson. I just
You know,
It's like-
it's like
I
James
don't know.
Cameron, just get up and go to the bathroom. and come right back.
I no, I just started having
That's
health
what I was
issues
saying. Like
at some point, and then I'm just like,
just
now
never
I
do
know
it.
how to hold
actively
it.
will remind myself like I'm gonna watch this again, so it doesn't matter. I just gotta
Yeah,
pick
it's
my
like
good
I'm gonna go.
time.
I go to the bathroom. Yeah.
For me, it's like when you're watching a movie for the first time, it's like you want to feel the full umph of it. And if I go to the bathroom, my mind's gonna wander.
Yeah.
So it's just a
I don't
personal
hustle. I mean, I'm
preference.
not gonna like take my sweet ass time.
Like it'll like with washing my hands, it takes me a 90-second round, like
The
or
worst
2-minute
is
round trip.
the AMC Burbank, like the big one. Like they only have 2 bathroom locations, but they're at the front. So sometimes the movie, like the Kingdom of Heaven, I was all the way in the back. So I just like you have to like walk through the entire fucking theater to then go to
Like
the
I
bathroom
hate
Martine
and walk
when
came here.
theaters do
all the
that.
way
Like
back.
Martine, you went to
Like
the
it's like 3 minutes
bathroom
of
during
a seat.
Sinners, right?
Like, yeah.
It didn't take long,
So
right?
here's the reason that
Well, if we're talking about the bathroom right
before we even walked in that theater, I was like, "Where's the bathroom? I have to know exactly where it is." And I saw exactly where that door was. I was like, "Okay, that's the closest door. If I hightail it from this door to that door, go to the
It's a
bathroom, wash
second.
my hands, and rush back, it didn't take me more than 2 minutes. I was
No,
yeah.
pissing that
it
out.
doesn't, because you went during the scene with when he goes to like his baby's grave, he goes to his whatever baby mama's
No,
place.
no, it was like right before everything was about to go down, actually.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I knew where it was, and then I went and saw it the next day. So I was like,
You're
I
fine,
knew
yeah.
I knew like 30 minutes into that movie, I was like, okay, if I need to go to the bathroom, I just gotta time this perfectly so I don't miss
No.
anything great.
Permanent,
And I
yeah.
did. I played the exactly like the best part to do it in because when I went to go see it
Yeah,
again, I was
yeah.
like, I didn't really miss anything.
Wearing. Gotcha. Love how we talked
His
about the bathroom
eyes.
there for about 5 minutes.
His it,
Talking about pissing during a movie for
you can
5
tell with
minutes.
his eyes. Sean Harris does a great job.
Just a job. Benji's gotten good at the fucking. Yeah, I love that little. I remember the theater got a clap out of that when Baldwin came behind. Because then
I'm
it's
not
just
gonna
that
say-
that last
This
scene's
one's
so
slow.
I don't want to
good.
say what it is,
Yeah.
but there's one scene in Final Reckoning that I was watching where like the entire theater just erupted. It was
Yeah.
Awesome.
man. Yes, it was very rewarding. I was like, damn, like this is what cinema's about, baby.
I can't
Ugh.
wait.
Get into it.
You guys have no idea how hard it is to just not say shit right now.
I know. That's what I was telling Pat. I was telling you on the group chat. I'm like, this man's about to struggle this week
Nah,
because he
I'm
can't
not
say
like
anything.
it's really not a struggle. It's just really more that like I
It's a
just
good
want you
it's a
guys
temptation
I
to be
want
a part of it. I know.
I want you guys to just be able to understand what I'm thinking about right now as I'm watching all of these. And I was telling Avery about it earlier. I was like, it's really interesting to be watching these from a perspective where I rushed through all of these in like 2 or 3 days just to watch the last movie.
Yeah.
Finally having seen the last movie and being like, wow, like it really does feel like it came full circle and I'm just here like kind of for the ride again. It's so much fun.
How did she like the new one?
She did not like it as much as I did. I know that. A lot of the same issues I had, she also had, but I was much more accepting of them. And the issues that I have with the film are regarding more like editing and a little bit
The
more on the
first hour?
flashbacks. The first hour of it, there's like a way big use of overuse of flashbacks, and that just has
Which I'm
mostly to
good
do
with. I'm just when people say like, oh, there's too much exposition, I'm like, give it to me. Give it to me. Give me now.
No,
Give me
it's
now.
not even like
I want
exposition.
it.
It feels like they like didn't think that like audiences would go back and watch the first like
That's
7.
good.
Probably.
Okay. That
And
FaceTime
so
real quick. That FaceTime's real good with Angela Bassett. It actually looks like a
Yeah.
real video, right?
Yeah. And not
Yeah.
like fucking 4K.
But the big thing that she said was that it felt like it was
That
half of the
lighting
movie, and I was like,
shift.
I mean, we watched the first
Mhm.
half 2 years ago, so that's why. But I can
Yeah.
understand where she came from.
And they also have to make the movie essentially feel like its own story on top of that. So
Yeah, her critiques are valid, and I agree with most of them. I think I'm just a little bit more accepting of them because I was so into it.
we're invested. That's the difference.
Mhm.
No, I completely understand.
Did you?
It's like
did
me
you
with
guys
Star
see that,
Wars. I'm
like,
more
the-
accepting of their mistakes than most folks.
Did you guys see the eye twitch that he had again?
Yeah. Look at these flares, these spherical flares.
Here's your Gordon Willis. Netflix would never.
You need a confident DP and a confident director. But that's the thing. This is more or less a complete dark, but you understand narratively what's going on.
Mm-hmm. There's like three things happening here. Ilsa's there too.
Yeah, Ilsa, and then him, and then Tom, Ethan.
Good
That's good.
vibes.
That's good intake of breath when you get stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good detail. Christopher McQuarrie's brother's actually a former Navy SEAL. He's a technical advisor on these movies.
Or like the fighting stuff. Shooting
Fighting,
knives and
guns, all that sort of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you're saying that it was a good little detail, are you talking about like the sound design?
The breath that he takes, that Alec takes in,
Yeah.
like when you get stabbed, that's the sound you make.
Yeah. Funny enough, I mean,
Actually,
who
you know
is
where
it?
that detail is from? It's Christopher Lee for Lord of
I
the
was gonna say
Rings,
Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was in the war, and so somebody I think said that
along with
like
Tolkien,
they
Mm-hmm.
said that like
Ian
whenever you get
Fleming.
stabbed, that's the you inhale. Yeah.
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 He was like the only person alive that met Tolkien. I think that was one of those movies, Christopher Lee,
Yeah.
and
He
then
did,
he
yeah.
he talks about how he read it like every year.
And he knew Ian Fleming also. Look at this. Look at the lighting. Here we go. That's how you doing, man. This is,
Get him.
the mix that you want. You want the high art with the blockbuster vibes. Your Dunes, your Mad
There's that music
Maxes.
again.
Yeah, you're right. The strings. But it's so perfect that there's a very fine tone, very like fine like key that he's playing with those strings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a violin. I think it's probably a viola. Here we go. And then now we're back into it.
I love the way
So
that
Sprint.
the shot of those guys running is so funny.
he did
It
all
looks like a
this.
bunch of goons.
Yeah, just a bunch.
So the first day they shot on this
Get him!
chase is the day he broke his ankle. All this is afterwards, which is
How long do they have
baffling.
to pause for?
Uh they paused 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
But when they picked up in 6 weeks, I'll tell you where they shot, or when it comes up. So they used the same church in Paddington too. It's kind of hilarious because Hugh Grant's character is doing like a heist in here, and he's dressed up as a nun. So it's like two
Oh
completely
yeah.
opposite
I know
uses
as
of
soon as I
of this fantastic set, or
Yeah.
fantastic location. Excuse me, St. Paul's Cathedral, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is, yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah.
I am so
I am so
terribly sorry.
Terribly sorry. And then I love the shot from above, right? It's just like,
Yeah.
the scram.
I am
So
terribly
whenever
sorry.
they show it's like there's a different pacing of the score also between you seeing whatever John Lorrick and then seeing Ethan.
Mm-hmm. This is great. What's your answer? Here's your comedic relief with Benji.
This run right here. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 7 second run is fantastic.
The best run is when he's running across the fucking bridge
Yeah,
after he
outside,
jumps
yeah.
out the window. Yeah.
They got the helicopter shot is fantastic. They knew exactly what they were
Mm-hmm.
doing.
If you look at the bridge, you can see people watching him from across
Yeah. It's so
because they're
far though, like
filming.
you can't really
If you
make
like
out what
really
they're like.
look, yeah,
They're absolutely watching him.
yeah,
The shot of him like breaking,
he
is it
breaks
shattering
it.
his, did
Yeah,
he break his ankle?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you can,
broke his
it's in
his
there.
talus
ankle.
bone.
Yeah.
He didn't break
It's in
any
the shot, but it's
ligaments
from
or
a top.
tendons.
It's on top. It's a thing, so you can't really see it from
Mm-hmm.
this. They showed it on the Graham Norton show though, so like you could see the
Yeah,
footage from the side, but when it's in the
From
actual movie,
inside
it's
the
on the
window,
top.
right?
they
Yeah.
had 4 cameras going. So
So they
this
have
is
this
one
camera
shot
right
right
here
here.
that's like,
Right
yeah,
here,
and then they
yeah.
Cable
have another
cam,
one
yeah.
from up top.
So this is one shot, and then when he goes by the utility box, that's the stitch to the shot they actually made.
Yeah,
So they
it's
cut
really
somewhere
quick.
here,
So
and this is a
they
shot
cut
right here.
there. Yeah.
And
you
then
can see
yeah,
the
he
stitch that you're talking about too, Vikash,
So
because it's like a
Yeah.
what he-
completely different shot.
so what he was trying to do was he was supposed to hit the wall like that. So he put out his leg to trying to stop himself a little bit because the first two times he did it, he kind of hit it too hard. So he
Mhm.
put too much. He landed a little bit wrong, and obviously he
Yeah.
broke his ankle
Yeah.
doing that.
He said that like everyone thought that he was supposed to make it online, like 'cause it was all over the internet too. And you're right, he did say on the Graham Norton show, he's like, I was supposed to hit the wall,
Yeah,
but
you know,
just
like his
landed
chest
on it
was
the wrong
padded
way.
up. Like he was
Yeah.
padded up, but he
Yeah.
said he got past camera, and then I think
We lost
Did we just
Vikash.
lose Vikash?
with his
No.
did we get the shot? Did we get the
we
We
lost you
lost
for 2
him.
seconds, and you
Yeah.
said you came back, and all you said was, "Did we get the shot?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Which, funny enough, I mean, I know what
Tom
you're
asked
talking
him like,
about.
did we get the shot? Because yeah, they're not coming
course
back,
he
and they
asked
never
it.
did.
Mhm.
I love that
Just
one that gives him the little nod.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get some running. Full on sprint. Do it.
Run, boy.
You
Full
like this
on
one? I like the
sprint.
one when he's on the ground when he's finally
This
getting to the
one.
building. It's just the scale is
It's a
perfect.
shot,
Look at this.
and he goes under.
Look
And he
at
goes under
this.
the bridge. Is it when he goes under the bridge?
Yeah. The next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Not that this isn't fantastic. This is fantastic. This is awesome. Great geography too.
Hmm. Yeah, just a full on.
This one right here. The
Yeah.
next shot.
Yeah,
This one right
just
here.
Full on.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at
That's
this.
fucking sick.
Which is a short shot, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The Tate Modern. That's a good detail. Museum.
Dude, Henry Cavill's a fast walker. Because he was sprinting that whole time, and Henry Cavill was just walking the whole time.
He didn't have anybody on his ass. That's why.
Yeah.
I love this part. This is my favorite part is that they kind of you think he finally got there. And this is
Yeah.
they're mirroring a Skyfall 2 a bit. But
I love that. Just
Yeah.
my
I'm looking
favorite part
directly down.
is
you can't kill
is the
him.
reaction when he
Right.
puts down the photo, like like Tom almost like takes the breath out, like he loses his breath. His heart
Mhm.
skips a beat when he puts the photo down.
No. That was a good no. No. Dude, he should
Do
play
you
a villain
guys
more.
think that
Henry
this
Cavill.
shot would be more effective if this shot of the photo? Do you guys think that this shot would be more effective
Yeah,
if
there
we
you
didn't
go.
see Julia at all before this?
You need to have Julia before you have to
Yeah.
remind the audience who she is.
I mean, I guess,
I
but
no,
like,
I
like
think
let's say
yeah.
hypothetically,
No, yeah.
the
I
audience
agree.
is. I mean, but think about it, right? 'Cause
No,
you
I
saw
agree
it in
with
the
what you're
trailer.
saying. I agree with what you're saying. If because they let that
It's out
shot
of
linger for
nowhere.
a second, yeah, and then he would just like that, and you'd be like, oh yeah, like fucking forgot about
And
Michelle
also,
Monaghan.
she was in the marketing quite a bit. Like, I remember she was in like every trailer. Like, I almost wish that they wouldn't have shown her at all, just that when you see her in the movie, it's like, yo, the stakes
I saw the
have
one.
never
It could have
been
been
higher.
could have been her agent. Could have been her agent
I
saying she
think
needs
the
to be in the
only
trailer.
trailer I saw was the one I'm talking about with the friction. I didn't watch any other trailers.
I want to say she's in that
Okay,
trailer. I want to say that she
so
was in a
real
lot of the
quick,
marketing.
this is literally McHugh just coming up with the shot at the moment, and this is one of my favorite shots of the movie. This one right here, where he comes around, and then you see him come around like this shot right here, most devastating shot of this movie. Look at the scale of this shot right here. He just
Yeah.
comes around. He's just like a little puny. It's like he's lost. Ethan has lost in this moment,
Yep.
and it is devastating, right?
It's a great
And that
shot.
just on the fly, proper communication with your helicopter, your camera pilots, and they made magic.
If you look closely, he has to like lean forward because the wind's so blowing
Yeah.
so hard. He's trying to keep himself
Yeah.
up.
Imagine the wind like lets up for like a second. He just falls out.
Oh,
Falls
shit.
off. Yeah, he was probably tied down, but even then,
Nah, yeah, he probably
still.
had it. He was harnessed in for sure. Yeah, Yeah, Ethan lost there, but he'll win in the
But
end.
you have to have him lost for there to be a big win, right? And even
Yeah.
then, by the end of the movie, it's like we don't know. They cut to white when it comes to the most tension-filled part if the bomb goes off or
Mhm.
not. And obviously, the premise of these movies is that he gets the job done. But even then, you're
Yeah.
always in tension of that moment. Like, did we lose? But that's how you keep the stakes proper. Is that you have to have that looming fear of
Look
like
at
they
Benji.
actually
Benji with
can
the leather
lose.
jacket on. Got the leather jacket on now. He's a cool guy.
Yeah,
He's a
he has
cool
it on
guy.
because Lark
He's
had or
cool now. He's
what's
cool
his
now.
name?
Mhm.
Sean
cool
Harris's
guy.
character
Cool
had
now.
it on.
He's cool
He's
now.
just a
Oh yeah, he
he's
did.
just a
He
cool
did have
chill
it on. You're
guy.
right. He's
He's
just
just
a
a cool
cool
chill
chill
guy.
guy now. But you're right. It's because Sean Harris's character had it on. How did they know what Sean Harris was gonna be wearing to wear the same thing? How did they know what he was gonna be wearing?
Did they put him in
They
there? They
put the
put him in
clothes
there
on him.
when they got him out of the van, right?
He only had the
You're
jumpsuit
right.
on. They
You're
put him
right.
in clothes.
You're right. You're right. They put him in clothes.
If anything, the interesting detail is that Ving Rhames is now
You
in
know,
that
see,
instead
like,
of the other
see
getup that he
now,
had on. Right?
th-
Where
see
did the
now this
where did the big
this
shirt go?
scene
Right?
this scene would be effective again if you had just seen that photo for the first time, because now he's explaining who that is. But you as an audience already know who it is. That's when I was rewatching this, I was like,
But
we already know this. Like I don't, but I know she doesn't. But like you're explaining it again to the audience, but you already know who she is. So if you had just put
And
that
you know
photo there
what's
and then
interesting to
you
me though
but
explain who it
is
that's
that
the thing. Look
is,
at the
the new
movie
one
from the
does
perspective
all
that
of
no one
that.
else has seen any movies before.
but
The
I
new
mean, this
one
is
So
number
does that.
you
six.
see her,
This is not,
but people still, you'd be surprised. Tanita,
I mean, I
Will
know, but
Baha
I'm
has
just
not
saying
seen
from
any of these movies besides
a
this one.
studio stand. Yeah, but again, she would get it from this scene, like, okay, that's Ethan's past love. Got it. Like, I
But that's the
understand.
thing. We're setting up in his dreams that this is a bad version of what's going to happen in his opinion,
Yeah.
right? This woman is plaguing his, inner life. We don't know who she is if you haven't seen the other movies, but now we know who she is, right? It's
Mhm.
kind of what they do in Ghost Protocol, but it's done better in this one. Because if
Mhm.
you haven't seen Ghost Protocol, there's also that whole story that's happening with, the same character, with Michelle's character. But I 100% understand what y'all are talking about. I wouldn't do it, but
I mean,
you kind of need it
it
for
works
these
both.
movies.
It works both ways. Like, it could also have been a studio note. They'd be like, no, she needs to be in,
It's a test
from their
screening note.
standpoint, being like, we need to see her earlier. Because, like you said, you're saying, this could be the first time people are watching a Mission Impossible movie.
That note, I mean, it formally comes from Tom that they wanted to wrap up. Like he wanted to wrap up that arc with
It's
her
it's a good
character.
wrap up. Yeah, it's a good wrap up.
The
Because yet
microwave
again,
this
they bring her
motherfucker?
in.
Nice.
They bring in her again, but they don't make her like, she has a gun at the end of Mission 3, but it's nothing like that, right?
No,
She's just
yeah.
helping Luther with
Just
a bomb.
they do a good job of making her a civilian. She has nothing to do with this. But she knows
But
Ethan,
she's
she knows
present.
if Ethan's there,
It's life or
like
death.
yeah. And then when she turns to like Benji and Ving, like just like, oh shit's going down right now. Like like they're like, shit. And then Tom Cruise just sprints away as a doctor. Just full out sprint. I don't trust anybody outside this room except for Michelle Monaghan and Wes Bentley.
They don't really
Wes
trust him though. They
Bentley.
don't tell him anything.
I know.
They
Well,
lie to
Wes
him.
Bentley plays it good too at the end. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the doctor that does all
So,
that." Like,
they're
I know
This
you're
is
forgetting
what I
the
was
one
talking
fucking
about.
doctor.
This cashmere, the title card for the location is the best one in the entire
Yeah.
series. The best
So-
one.
I'm not going to talk about any of the politics that comes up with this because very racy topic within, South Asians, but they do have a scene here that they cut out where they come up to the border and everybody's been murdered there, and it's like they're essentially hot on their case of,
Mm.
of Lark and
You,
Solomon
guys,
Lane.
you don't need that. Like we get it.
You don't.
Yeah. He's meant to sit off
It's
nukes.
just-
Like I don't think
it's
like,
essentially- like,
he's
Like,
killed
they
like,
had
half
blood
for it.
dripping off the barbed wire. They're just setting the tone again, and it was just unneeded.
yeah. Yeah, you don't need it.
But that's what I was talking about. Is that like I think I said in the chat that this one has the best title card in all of them. Like when it comes to locations, I
Mhm.
don't like the title card for locations in Dead Reckoning or Final Reckoning. They piss me off. I don't like it whenever they spell it out and they have little sound effects. They go like it's a computer
Yeah,
typing it out. You're like,
it's a very
Oh, you
CIA
mean
oh
movie.
my
no? It
god,
Yeah,
like
sounds. You know when you made that sound,
Bourne
it,
does
it
it.
sounds
Bourne
like
does it there.
it sounds
One of
like
the Bourne
the
films.
sound from Transformers when they're transforming. You know how
like a
the
little
titles,
bit.
you know how the titles transform in
When they hack
Transformers,
in,
Yes, but
when they
the
buy the
ones in
glasses.
Transformers
Why did the
have more of like a
Transformers just?
metallic sound. These have
but
like
it
more of
sounds
like
awesome.
a
Why didn't
That
the
sounds awesome. It sounds corny, right? That's what you're
Why didn't
saying.
the Transformers just buy his glasses off eBay? Just wait for him to ship
that's
it.
a good point. I mean, they don't have a credit card. I don't know.
They
They could
don't.
just
They
they
prefer
hacked. They
murder.
could just
They
hack
need
in.
it right away.
They don't have a mailing
They could have
address.
waited 3 to 5 business days, and they would have had their glasses.
Are you ladies lover
Ladies, let
115 or whatever?
me.
I've
Ladies
seen
man 2117.
Ladies man,
217.
The custom mega box. Ladies man.
That 2007 man, Shia LaBeouf he's really good in those three movies. He's just a manically insane person in those, and him just going crazy in
Same year as
those. It's
Disturbio
hilarious.
7 too.
So the reason
Ooh,
why
look at that
they chose
cloud.
this location narrative wise is that they had to do the stuff in New Zealand, and they were like, where do we double New Zealand? So they just, and like, why would the villains be interested in this specific place? And it's like just out of a necessity to the narrative, they chose to set it here.
Man, he really got that to 15. Perfect.
The way that McQuarrie explains is that these movies really do come from the edges in, because
Mm.
once you set the sandbox, once you set the stakes, once you set what they're trying to do, then everything else takes shape and forms up. Which I know Martin has his whole thing about, like, it's baffling that they go like from stunts to the story rather than from story to stunts, but it's just like the only way they can make these movies for them.
I don't necessarily have an issue with it. I never said that. I think what I said was just that it's crazy that it works. That
Yeah.
it's crazy to me that it works as well as it does. And Final Reckoning, I'm not bashing on it because I really don't think it's a bad movie. I think everybody is kind of hating on it for the same reason that I had issues with it. And the issues, like I said, are more in the editing and the
You're
first act
having
and some of the
substantive
writing.
remarks. You're being critical, but you're having it's so
Yeah.
the reason why
I
they have
liked
this
it
set this way.
significantly more than I think everybody else has. But my point
Yeah.
is just that someone pointed out
Oh no.
that they absolutely went into that movie without a script, and that's why the film feels the way that it does. And I was
So
like,
McQuarrie
probably.
wanted Julia Backlit right here. So that's why everything is placed this way.
Wes Bentley. That's
He
great.
was
Does he
like
know?
he
That's
was like
great. That's great there. Does he know? No. Okay.
Michelle will be backlit, like she looks beautiful backlit. So I was like, we have to do it. We have
Yeah.
to set this, set up this camp this way. There's no other decision why. It's just for this one decision. That's why everything is placed this way specifically. But like I said, every time we talk about movies and we have like issues with them, we make substantive remarks
Yeah.
about the issues. We're not just hating on movies.
Constructive. Yeah.
Besides Megan,
Megan. No, we gotta hit Megan on the pod.
We gotta
For
have Baja on the
Fairfield.
pod for that.
For Megan.
I'm good. I'm good. I will live in ignorance. Wes
Megan
Bentley's a great
2.0.
actor. Like genuinely, he has such a heart, and he got wasted into whatever. What's that show, Yellowstone? But it's like
Oh yeah.
sometimes Hollywood doesn't know how to use actors. So obviously
Yeah,
McHugh
you
does.
probably because he was in American Beauty, so his career should have taken off more than it did in the 2000s. But I don't think
The
it really
problem
did.
is
Then
that he's
in
not a
Hunger
classically handsome
Games.
guy,
He's a
and
good looking dude.
he's a
Good-looking
good-looking
guy.
dude, but he's not classically handsome.
Yeah, I don't think he could. I think I don't think he could command the
Compare
screen like a Tom
compare him
Cruise.
compare him to like Jake Gyllenhaal. They look pretty
Yeah.
similar, but there's a little bit of a difference. And I'm not like you said, he's a really good looking dude. He's got great charisma. He's a great actor. He's got everything on page, right?
I remember
It's
when
just
when he popped up in
there's
here, I was like, oh,
disconnect.
Wes Bentley.
I thought it was awesome. I
Did
love
you
it.
see? Did you see
I
how
didn't know he
Rebecca
was in this movie.
Ferguson looked at Michelle Monaghan
Yeah,
for like 2
yeah.
seconds?
Well,
Oh,
she's really fucking Michelle Monaghan's really fucking good here because she's just basically looking at Ethan. It's like a look of love, but
and
also scary. It's
Ilsa.
like terrifying
It's
because
like
then when
the
she
look that she knows that he's there and she
for a
can't tell
reason,
her husband.
yeah,
She has tension.
slash
No,
yeah, slash like
she
they're
knows
she'll
she
always
knows
still love
something's
him
wrong.
too. Yeah,
She, she knows something's wrong.
yeah. This is a full out
Them
sprint.
running off too. Like she knows. That's crazy.
Yeah, something's going on right now. Yeah, that's why she comes back. You know,
Great geography.
Dum, dum, dum. Oh man, I think it's so funny that they have that helicopter right there, and watching it for the first time, you're like, they're gonna use that. They're gonna use
So
that.
they were coming to this set. They're trying to figure out, or this sort of area. They're trying to figure out a location for how Tom gets onto the helicopter because they have to have this whole helicopter thing. They get off the helicopter, and McQuarrie sees a helicopter like lifting up and taking a package, like the thing that we see him go up on. And he was like, "Okay, everybody, get back on the get back on the helicopter. I know what we're riding." And they're like, "Oh, you want to see the location?" He's like, "No, I already got it. Let's go. Let's not waste time. I know what we need." And it
There's
is what
one of the
it is
shots
what
where
Martin's
he's
talking about is brazen. It really is brazen
Mhm.
cinema that you can be that confident with your storytelling.
one of the shots where he's on the helicopter and he like falls. People don't know, but like it was real. Like I mean, he was wired up, but one of them he
Oh,
really
yeah.
fell. Like it's
He fell
crazy.
down,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can see it. It's in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And here we
you'll
have
get it.
another the I think we go deeper with these strings here. It gets a bit more
Mhm.
epic right here, and we're changing a pace a bit, and we cut to digital
There you go.
cameras right here. I think this is digital right here. You can tell.
The entire look, just everything is just
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
There's a much softer
The
look
film.
to everything.
Yeah, this is film, and then the shot. This is digital.
Nice.
But then once we get a helicopter, they do the shift in aspect. So McQuarrie made it a point that we don't want to cut back to the timer too often. So it's like he was shooting purposely to the point where you see the key, but you don't see the timer because you want to show the time, but you also don't want to show it too much because it turns into the end of Fast Six, right? Like how long is this runway, right? You don't want that problem either.
Dude, telling you, still fucking rips.
Oh man, the
That
aspect ratio
opening.
changing is so good.
Yeah.
That shift. It's a fast one, but it's
Immediate,
awesome.
yeah.
I think they shot a Panavision DXL2. I think if I said that
Say.
camera's name right, but it's like it's a good. It's got the
Tell you
visuals
right now.
right. I mean,
I'll tell you right now, sir.
because I think they were pretty new then. It's like a 6K camera.
Where is it? Where is it? Tech specs. What'd you say it was? Panavision.
DXL2,
Yeah, Panaflex Million XL2.
XL2.
Let's C and
okay.
E series lenses. And they use Panavision Promo 70 lenses for some scenes. And then
Primo.
DXL. Primo and
But,
then
man,
DXL.
this is fantastic. Just
That's the shot. That's the one.
There.
yeah.
He was
You
not
can
supposed to
actually
fall.
you can actually tell in his face for a second, like he's like, oh shit. Like
What's awesome to me though is that like these are the only kinds of movies where like they can say like, oh yeah, we fucked up that shot, and they kept it in,
Yeah.
not because they
Yeah.
were like, oh, like it was a happy accident. It's like it just adds to the intensity, like his face, him falling, him grabbing it,
fuck,
realizing like,
yeah.
oh my god,
But
I
it
just messed up
adds
the
it
shot,
always
but also like
yeah,
it's
it
just
adds that
there, man.
It's like that Indiana Jones element too, where it's like he's not perfect a lot of the time.
He
But
fucks
it's
up
like
a lot.
yeah, it's like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones would fall down, like off, but he'd still get the job done. Because if you make him too perfect, like obviously he always gets it
But
done,
the
but
thing
like
is,
if you make it
you
too
want the
perfect,
flaws.
like yeah,
Okay, so I
This
want to
shot
point
right
something
here,
out about
this
him
shot
climbing
right
up that
here
rope. I
is
don't know if you
epic.
guys have ever had to climb a rope. ever.
It's
Dude, I
I
could
have.
never.
insanely hard.
It
In
is
gym class,
insanely hard.
Insanely hard.
I never did. I could never get. I could never climb a rope in gym. I could never.
It's because
And
fucking do it.
he's
you
doing
need
it
core
on a
strength.
helicopter.
Yeah.
No. It really isn't about core strength. It like kind of is, but do you see how he has his ankles
Locked
like
in, yeah.
It's all about
overlapping?
your legs.
It's
It's like
about
your
your legs. You
legs.
have to lock them
Yeah.
in like that, or it does
Yeah.
not work.
And I was
And
just like
you're-
younger. I could
I
never
was
do
doing
it.
it. I was doing it one time whenever I was like 18 or 19 years old because my friend, he worked at like a dance studio and they had those sheets, like those silk sheets that they would dance
yeah.
on. And
Yeah.
he said, like, try it. And he showed me how to do it. But like by the end of the night, dude, my ankles were
You were sore
burnt
and
up.
hurting.
They were like, it
Yeah.
hurt so bad the next day.
Next day, you're like can barely fucking move.
It was awful.
The helicopter pilot. Oh fuck! It just is off.
This is also Airbus, same people who made the A300 from the opening of Rogue Nation. Tom had to take one of their guys up in the plane and like, hey, I can do this. Like the stunt he's about to do. And the dude got in and he's got his own controls also. And out of instinct, when he started doing the stunt, the other guy pulled up and he was like, stop it, let me do this. I got this. And then he showed him, and then he's like, okay, I'll talk to Airbus. Like, yeah, you got this. You can do this.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. Like the greats, like Nolan, like, you know, these guys, they're like, people keep telling them no till they do it, till
Yeah.
they break the barrier. And
They always
is,
do
you know-
it. My favorite things about people like that, filmmakers and people who are just in the process of making movies, are always like, just do it. Because they're gonna tell you no, just do it anyway. Like, don't ask for permission, or else you're just never gonna get
Mhm.
done.
I feel like Tom Cruise is the only guy that just can just do it.
But
Other
that's the
actors,
thing.
they'd be like, no,
he did
no, you're
he
not
did
doing it.
3 months of training in 6 weeks to learn how to just get certified to be in the cockpit to drive this thing. And then he started flying, or he was flying 8 hours a day when he was doing that, and then on top of that doing the schooling, and then now he has to learn how to do this stunt essentially.
Mhm.
And he's also pressing play on the camera, and there's so much stuff going on here. It's so much like
I
technical
mean, he was
stuff
basically doing
that
the
they have to
same
do
thing
to
with like
get
Top
it.
Gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just like
But
this
doing
times
this
10
probably
on Top
allowed
Gun.
him to be able to do a lot in Top Gun, getting that license.
But it's like there's a lot of like feasibility things they got to figure out, and then, you know, they really got it done. They cut stuff out of this scene also. There's a point where he dives into the clouds, and then in the trailer they do show him almost hitting a truck, but they cut all that out because it was getting too long.
I mean, you're at 2 hour mark now. This thing just fucking
Flies,
moves,
yeah, I
man.
know.
Yeah.
That's why do you think I've seen it so many times? It's just like, you know, you're inhaling a movie.
Not as many times as I've seen War of the Worlds.
And the thing is like, you know, now as you grow up, you have less time, and it's just, this is just one of those special movies.
I got all the time in the world.
If you pay attention closely in this shot, you actually see little hobbits running, and Aragorn, and, you know,
Get the
Fellowship.
fuck out of here.
Boromir.
I had
He's
to throw it
trying
in
to
there.
bring down the mountain.
I had to throw it in there.
Gandalf,
This New
We
Zealand.
must turn back.
Yo, this boy looks so. So, do y'all remember the photo of him that McHugh dropped? The black and white photo of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta post
Dude, he
this
should
to
play.
Reddit.
He should play a
And I
fucking
should've.
villain more, man. He's good.
He's so good in it. But like this get up, this whole like look, this whole personality he has in this movie is just
Yeah.
like awesome. It's metal.
It's
so
I don't know,
movie.
man. Henry Cavill he's so underused in everything he's in except for this.
He's
I think
underutilized for sure.
He just got.
He's always
bogged down being
underutilized, but it's like
Superman for a while, and then just maybe just didn't really work
It's like-
out. So it's
it's
you
like
know,
Sebastian Stan. It's like he's a fantastic
now
actor, but
Sebastian Stan's finally getting his due
yeah,
because of Hot Tub Time
Different
Machine.
Man.
maybe.
because I knew he was gonna say
The Apprentice.
He's great in The Apprentice.
I mean, as well, Sebastian Stan won a Golden Globe and then was nominated for Best Actor for a completely different role.
What a flex.
Then he was in Thunderbolts. Didn't seem like you wanted to be there.
A
but
Different Man. Great movie.
Yeah.
Great film.
Come to the A24 boutique label.
Yeah, what's up
Finally.
with the
They
saw Death of a Unicorns getting that, and I was like, it's a little questionable.
They don't want to put out a regular Blu-ray because they know it's not going to
yeah,
sell.
it's not gonna
They're
sell.
like,
Sebastian
if
Stan's
we,
gonna
if
make
we
some
make a
money.
limited amount, we can always have it on
Yeah,
print.
that and
They don't have to worry about it.
Warfare was
So-
little, and Warfare was little like, it's interesting.
real quick
There's another one of
headcanon.
those that has the like different artwork for, like, you know how I told you Amazon has different artwork and so does Barnes and Noble.
Mm,
Of all the
Different
Marvel
artwork on
actors,
Warfare.
who do you think's gonna have Oscars by the end of their, when it's all said and done?
Lawrence.
Technically, Brie Larson already has one.
Brie
Yeah,
has
that's
one. Ruffalo doesn't have one, but I think he will.
I'm talking about like the new, I guess the
Sebastian
Florence
Stan.
probably.
Florence will.
Sebastian, I
Haley
think
will.
will because they both
Sebastian
will
will.
because they've also
RDJ
been
already
nominated by
finally
the
got
academy
his.
so it's like they're already
Yeah.
on within
radar.
that system. The hardest thing at first is to get nominated, and once you're nominated is when you'll continue to get nominations.
Michael B. Jordan. Josh Brolin doesn't have an Oscar.
He's got some noms, but no Oscar.
Yeah.
I mean, they get big actors to be in those movies, man. It's not like they're just like chump actors in those things. It's
Yeah,
like,
I know. They have
like-
they have
Look at these
Robert
chump-
Redford
These
and
chumps.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, they got
Harrison
fucking,
Ford doesn't have an Oscar, which is baffling.
Yeah, they got fucking Robert Redford.
Most people-
Robert Redford,
most-
well, speaking of Robert Oscar noms, Robert Redford only has one.
What, All the President's
acting.
Men or is it English Patient or some
Sting.
random crap? Sting, really? I wouldn't expect
one-
that.
he only
Even though
has one
he's
acting
great
nom.
he's great in the Sting.
Which is
my favorite thing is
wild
talking
to
to
think
people who,
about.
who don't know anything about how like the Oscars work or even like much about movies, and they're always like, "Why doesn't this person have an Oscar?" And we're like, "Play because it's a fucking Marvel movie, okay?
Yeah.
Get
and
the
also
fuck
like,
out of here."
Also, like we don't vote in this. Like I don't understand. Like,
But it's also the campaigning.
we have
and all
zero
that
control
nonsense.
over who wins
Yeah.
this shit, man. Like,
It's campaigning to an extent.
yeah. Again, like
Campaigning and hype.
again, like Haley Steinfeld's already been a nom. She very well, if Sinners makes a hard push at the end of the year,
It will.
she's gotten a nom before. She could get another
But it's
nom.
gonna
just 'cause
be
she's already
it's gonna be
in that
interesting.
already
How do
in
you-
that like category.
Because the movie's made good money domestically specifically, and how are they gonna market the movie to
You
the
gotta
Oscar
market it
people?
again.
It's technically
Yeah.
a vampire movie, it's a horror movie, and they don't really
You gotta
respect
market
those things,
the
but
you gotta market the filmmaking of it. That's what you gotta do, not the
Yeah.
actual story.
because Autumn, Ludwig, Ryan are all gonna get nominations.
Yeah.
At this
It's
point
like
in my
this.
head.
It's like you
Best
watch this,
Picture
you're like,
nomination,
This isn't
maybe.
getting. This isn't getting.
Yeah,
Like,
that fucking
So this
helicopter coming out of the clouds is so good.
So when he came, so that's where they had a whole scene under the clouds where he almost hits a truck.
oh, I believe it.
So it's
yeah.
like,
Oh,
Use the
it's in the
cloud.
trailer. It's in the trailer, and
trailer.
everybody was
Yeah.
asking
Yes.
where that scene was. I
Yes.
remember.
Yes.
I know what you're
Yes,
talking
exactly.
about. Yes,
I remember
exactly.
that.
I do remember that because I remember seeing the shot that video, like it's a deleted scene or something, or they're like I can't remember.
They
Are
put
there-
them
are there
together.
deleted
Yeah,
scenes?
they don't call them deleted scenes. They just cut together stuff and put it with music.
Let's see.
Regardless, I remember seeing that
Commentary.
shot and I was like, oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, because it's at the end of the Super Bowl trailer. Because he goes in and is like pushing into him, almost
Yeah.
crashing into the truck,
They
and then it
have
like
on,
smashes the fallout.
on the deleted scenes montage with commentary. It's probably on.
Yeah,
I haven't dug into all the special features on these.
Let's see what we got on the special features. I have the Blu-ray sitting right here. Or
It's
the
solid.
I just looked at
4K
it.
It's
Ultra HD.
I just looked
it's
at it.
pretty good.
Did you not see me look at it?
I didn't.
Am I a joke to
You
you?
didn't have it on the
with
fucking
this?
camera. Jesus.
It says.
I have the individual one, so I got more
Mhm.
to read.
Well,
Okay.
I have. Man, I had to read like fucking. I need
Additional
glasses.
commentaries.
I need
There's
a
an
fucking
isolated
glasses
score
to read it.
track. So if you want to, you can watch this movie with the score only, but that's only on the Blu-ray.
So when they were shooting all this stuff with
Yeah, they never add that shit to the 4K.
the scene with Solomon and Benji and everything,
Too much data on the disc.
they were literally done. They had no money left on production, and I think they went over like 3 hours trying to finish this scene. Like this is one of the last scenes they were trying to finish in the movie, and McHugh wrote these scenes, all the tension going on here, all three parts of this. he wrote them separately, and then he was just like, okay, we'll shoot all of it, and then we'll cut it together in the editing room. I think I know where it'll work, but he never like purposely had it intercut, from the jump. It's just he knows he will have to at some point through the scene. I
When I
think
was rewatching
this choking stuff
was
is some of the
like,
last stuff they had to get.
when I was rewatching this, I
And
was like, damn, he tied her up fast.
yeah, and
Bro.
Rebecca's pregnant through all that.
Yeah, they shoot her up a close up high, man. Hide it.
I mean, she
That's
was like
probably why. Because if she wasn't pregnant, she would have been fighting him there, and Benji probably would have been tied up.
but the way
But it's
they
good.
do
It's
this
good.
is
It's good
perfect.
to make it Benji. Yeah.
But that's the thing; it's only feasible if it is Benji, right?
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
that Lane
These
wins
movies
before he
really fucking
loses.
play
Yeah.
with the idea that they're gonna kill Benji like every movie, and it pisses me. Like it's really
Yeah.
well done, but it pisses me off every time.
You can't kill Benji. He's the
I don't want to
heart.
hear it. I don't want to hear it. I
I'm
swear to
not
God,
saying
if he,
shit. I'm literally not saying
I
shit.
swear to God,
I'm
Yeah,
I
you
swear
keep
to
you keep
God.
bringing it up. You keep bringing it
You're
I
up.
the one
know,
who
I
said
know.
it. Yeah, I'm
See,
acting.
you
I
know
have
what the
been
bad thing is?
pretending
I
all
was
week like I
joking.
have not seen that movie, and I did not. I have not made a single reference to anything
Yeah.
I saw.
The funny thing is when I went to go see Avengers Endgame, I was joking around with people in my in one of my biology classes. I was just like, yeah, like Scarlett Johansson's probably gonna die, like Scarlett Witch is gonna die, this person's
Nice.
gonna die, and then it ended up happening. I got the class the next week. It was like Tuesday. I was like, yo, I'm sorry, guys. I was joking. I
I
swear to
didn't even
God, I
see the
didn't know
movie yet.
anything.
Whenever
Nah,
I would go
I
see
wouldn't be pissed because
movies,
technically I didn't see
like
it yet, so I wouldn't be
a
pissed.
week early, I would always tweet shit out like, "Yo, I can't believe Green Lantern dies at the end of like Civil War or some shit." And I'd always have like one person in my class. I'd be like,
Yo, what?
why were you spoiling this?" And I'm like, "Dude, you don't watch these movies clearly. If you really think that Green Lantern's in Civil War."
Dude, he is crossover portal scene.
So this is where he picked up shooting.
I guess
Ethan
Rebecca
or
does
Tom Cruise
fight
after
here.
he broke his ankle. When he's hanging off the side of the mountain and he's trying to climb back up, that is the
Mhm.
first shot back from him breaking his ankle, and
When
he still
they
has a broken ankle.
fake the nuke with the lighting.
No, or essentially, yeah.
I guess Rebecca does fight a little bit here.
No, she definitely does. She delivers.
Yeah.
She delivers. But then those shots right there, in the middle, that's definitely her stunt double. But
Yeah, and then
it's
you give
seamless.
her the jacket to hide the bump.
Yeah.
You can see them.
A lot of
You
times, I
gotta
mean,
save Benji.
a lot of times the stunt double stuff happens so quickly that you never notice.
Yeah,
But that's the best part is where it is that way,
yeah.
because
And
like
that's in the
you can.
it's in the editing.
It's like
too.
there's a good
It's
art
always
of
the
like
cuts.
yeah,
you know?
of like how you shoot it and then how you edit it, because sometimes it's like so noticeable that it takes you out of it sometimes, but they do it well here.
It was like a ride.
I feel like they just put him in a freaking rig and
This
they were
is
just
the
like,
Mission
spin that
Impossible
shit, spin that
ride.
shit.
Yeah.
Like spin that shit, put him in
So
that.
yet
This was the
again,
money shot in the trailer. I remember that.
Oh yeah.
they were like, we need the characters to fall off something, and the way that the analogy that he used for his crew is like, I
The
need
hook.
something that literally I need a sink
Set up.
and a drain.
Set up.
So they need to go from the sink down into the drain and
It's
then end
it's
up at
bum under
the
table.
at the pulpit
Mm.
rock. This is 3 or 4 days before they shot this. They were like, oh yeah, we should probably disfigure him a little bit. Yeah, let's burn his face.
This is your
And
Jurassic
within
Park.
3 days,
Lost
the
World.
yeah, within 3 days they brought or I guess the makeup artist did the whole burn thing.
This is kind of like Lost World.
A little bit.
Honestly,
With
I
the
wouldn't be
strap kind of
surprised.
too, yeah.
I would not be surprised because they like I've said before, they make a good job out of like doing what others have done kind of poorly. They do it better.
Yeah, they really set up when I was rewatching this, I'm like, oh yeah, they really
So
set
that's
up that hook
Norway.
there. It's coming.
So the helicopter stuff is New Zealand, and then the stuff on this final fight is Norway.
Because they had to change location essentially, right? Because of the
No, it's just
break.
New Zealand, because of the helicopters. That's the only place legally that would let them shoot it that
Shoot
way.
that, yeah. Because it's so
And
remote
then
there. So.
Norway, because of the location, they literally needed a place with a cliff. He was like, I need, a straight fall.
Mhm.
And they just scouted and found that.
There's nothing you can do. I told you.
This score right here. I have
There's
the movie turned
nothing
down,
you
but the
can
score
do,
right here,
Ethan.
you hear that? Fantastic.
They ever release this on vinyl?
Fallout.
Probably not.
The fallout
And
of your
this was
actions, of your
it was
decisions.
Tom's idea, because they were like they're choreographing this fight, and they're like, we have to make it so Himbo does not know about the detonator, that there's a flaw in the detonator, that he's
You
just
know-
going at Ethan.
I think
Sorry,
hypothetically,
vinyl. Oh, there was.
I think this shot of him where he gets his face burnt would have been a lot more effective if we didn't see it until like now. Because the way he turned
Yeah.
around kind of felt like they weren't trying to show it to us earlier.
Yeah, there was a point. Yeah, exactly. That's what he said. They kind of had to do it that way because of PG
I'm gonna
13.
do the rest of the
Yeah.
episode like I'm Solomon Lane.
I'm gonna do the rest
Yeah,
of the
so-
episode like I'm Vakash. You know what we should do one episode?
This
We
is
just
my-
we just
this is
act like
my
each other.
apprentice, Solomon.
Act like
This
each
is my
other.
apprentice, John Locke. Nice guy, but he's a piece of shit.
You're probably wondering how I got
I can't do it the whole episode. It's a strain on my voice.
Yeah, it's gonna
it's
hurt your
coming.
throat.
It's hard. It's like you're like
Fallout
you're
of all
like
of your good
restricting how much you
intentions.
breathe.
Yeah.
The fallout.
I feel like you could
No.
definitely get a sore throat from like.
Like I
keeping
told you,
doing
like his regular voice is like Voldemort.
What?
I don't think it's like Voldemort. Voldemort's is much more like
But
he
Voldemort's a bit more
whispers.
theatrical.
He's a
Like,
bit
yeah,
more
fine.
theatrical and a bit more like whisper. Like it
Like
whispers a
Ray
little bit
Fine?
more.
Oh yeah, the hook. Forgot about that. It's gonna go on your.
bomb
It's
under
gonna
the
go
table.
on your burnt face, bro. It's gonna grab you. It's gonna.
I love that
fucking
yellow. It's a good yellow. It's just disgusting. Like that iodine
Yeah,
color.
it looks like vomit.
But it's
It looks like vomit.
But it's also like Henry Cavill's a good looking dude. Let's burn his face. Like basically,
burn his fucking face.
burn his fucking face.
Let's
This guy
make
can
him
be
look
too
like
good
shit.
looking. He's too fucking good looking.
Give him a mustache.
Mustache looks good though. Like he is a
looks-
villain
he looks
mustache,
good
but he
with
looks
mustache.
so
He
he
looks
looks
good with
better than he
mustache.
usually does.
Yeah.
He should always keep the mustache.
They said what if we put a fucking rat on his lip?
Yeah. Oh, knife to.
he ain't
fucking
gonna be
head
a Mission Impossible 7.
later. Yeah, he is. Horse
Fucking
Ghost.
rush hour over here.
Where's Ghost? This is the shot I'm talking about. This is where they started with shooting again, which is
Kinda
crazy,
Yeah.
that he's got a
You know,
broken ankle.
we just broke your ankle. Anyway, we're gonna have you climb this mountain though. I mean, it's probably his fucking decision.
Only for Senwa. Yeah, it is. That's why he's limping through that fight, because he was like, yeah, like through like as the day goes on, like it's gonna get more swollen. So I just, I kind of have to just add it in.
I mean, I will say that a lot of times when someone like hurts their leg, whatever it might be, you don't notice it for a few hours because your body is still like
Yeah.
in shock.
I broke
But
my foot
when you,
and I walked around with it the rest of the day, and it didn't really start hurting until I was like, I should go to the hospital. And then as soon as I was sitting in the ER, that was when it was throbbing.
Did you have the swelling?
Yeah, I could see. Then it was starting to swell.
Yeah.
I broke my pinky toe, like the bone right below it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you guys
So I had to
around
be in
Have
that
y'all
walking
broken
boot.
bones? I mean, you
Around
broke.
I just told you.
December,
I broke this one. I broke these two. Or no, these two on my left fingers.
And then I
I tore my
almost lost my leg.
ligament. Yeah, which is gnarly.
I love this.
It was same leg too. Broke. The foot
This
on.
white.
This
was what I was
cut
talking
works
about.
so
Yeah.
well because you think to your like for a second that that's the bomb because he's seeing it from like so far away, and then you realize
Yeah.
it's just the sun. It's a good. The thing with
That's
it, just
good.
his mouth.
It's good. It's a good fucking edit.
But it's like
Um,
they build up the percussion there, and you're just like, what's gonna happen? He drops you out, and it's just a sigh of relief.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
he fucking did it.
I was gonna say I went on a run around December, and I was running, just going for it, and I saw I saw like a branch like on the trail, and I didn't clock it until it was too late, and so when I landed on it, I think I just rolled my ankle the wrong way, and I kept running, and I was like, I don't feel that, like I feel like I'm fine, I feel like that was nothing, and then the whole day went on,
Yeah.
didn't feel it, and
Progressively
then
hurts more.
the next day I woke up and I was like,
Next
oh,
day.
man, like
Oh.
I
This fucking
fucked up my
hurts.
leg.
That's how you know
That's what I'm
you
saying.
can
Is that
see
like
it's black and blue. Yeah.
I was
I
able
tore
to
my
finish my run. Like I mean, I ran a whole other mile.
yeah. I
It's
tore my
adrenaline.
ACL in Atlanta playing basketball, and or not my ACL. I tore the ligament in my ankle playing basketball, and like within an hour, I couldn't even put my shoes on. Like it was, the
Yeah.
swelling was that bad. And that's what happened to Tom. Like when he broke his ankle, he was like, "We're not coming back. I broke my ankle. I know for a fact I broke my ankle. Like I've
He probably
broken bones."
did he tear ligaments in there as well?
No, that's the thing. No
That's
ligament
probably
tear.
why it wasn't
No
as bad.
tendon tear.
Yeah.
No, that's what they said. He was like, literally, that we would have
That's why.
we would have to push 6 months if if
Yeah.
he tore his
Tore any ligaments, yeah.
or
Because you need
tendons.
surgery. Yeah.
Exactly. I would have been fine with them leaving the movie here because he's laughing at the end.
Yeah.
Imagine you're like on your deathbed, you see the love of your life, and then her fucking husband like leaves.
Yeah. Wes Bentley's like, get out of my way.
I think the thing is that she's not the love of his life. She's a significant love of his life, but I don't think she's.
That's what Ving Rhames is talking about. He has two. It's Ilsa and her.
That's Indian Army outside. Interesting detail.
Yeah, that's when he's like, you're not a fucking doctor, bro. Yeah, doc. Gives him the wink. That's good.
I thought she was a nurse, but she's a surgeon apparently.
Oof, look at that blown out in the back. Love it.
It's fantastic. That's the thing. I am a big romance guy, right? And the romance in this is really, really good.
She's a little soft.
I think what I like about this though is that like it's
Self focus, yeah.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
respect here for her character, and then in Dead Reckoning Part 1, when you're watching it and Ilsa's character dies, you're like, yeah, that was
I know.
that was another one. Because like it's so
Well,
subtle, it kind of sneaks up on you.
My problem is that after it happens, the movie just keeps going.
Not for me. I mean, I think I love that movie.
It
I love Dead Reckoning. It's got its flaws. but
no,
I
no, no.
love
I'm
it.
saying like narratively, the movie just keeps going. It doesn't stop on that. Like Vesper dies at the end of Casino Royale, but like the movie ends. It's tragedy. Like that's just how the movie goes.
I mean, I feel like Dead Reckoning keeps going for a different reason, but we'll get into it next episode.
Oh yeah, obviously. But like that's why whenever I don't know, I'm not gonna have full opinions till I watch Final Reckoning, which we'll talk about afterwards.
I
After
guess
that,
we'll have to finish it when it comes to.
We're almost there, dude. We're almost there. We have one episode
Pat,
left.
that's why I said we're gonna do the Cinema Pursuit one, and then we can do it afterwards too.
I'm
because I want to be.
I'm excited for everyone to enjoy
complete
this with us. To be honest with you guys, like I know that the last one is out in theaters almost, and
like you said earlier, people have been. I've been getting some.
people have been listening to it.
This is great.
Yeah, obviously,
I
we're at
want to
the
hear
end of this episode.
That's why I want to have a conversation like soon, like first week of June, like about all these movies, because like
We'll definitely
we've
do
had
that.
such a journey with these, and it's like it's gonna be a unique perspective for us.
It's crazy. Like we really are watching these together as friends, and we're not even in like the same the same city. We're just hanging out, just
Dude,
guys being dudes.
Technology, man. Technology.
The power of the internet.
Because whenever he's watching this, I was like, "Oh yeah, she's in this."
Yeah, she's in this. I forgot.
Like I said,
She's only in three. She's in 3 scenes.
This was a
technically,
studio
like,
note.
She's in each act.
Stuff his ass in there. Get his
Yeah.
ass.
This
Dude, I'd
was
be
a
so
studio
annoyed. I'd
note
be
of
just
like
fucking
fucking
we
kill me
need
at
to-
this point. I'd be like, just fucking kill me at this point.
Yeah.
Like 2 times it hasn't worked. What did I say earlier? Look at his teeth.
That's
This
a
guy wants to
wig?
blow
Look at his
things
teeth.
up.
Look at his teeth. That's a guy's a terrorist.
This guy wants to blow shit up.
This guy wants to blow shit up. That's what you said. Look at his dude. This guy wants to blow shit up.
See, that's my problem. You hear this, you hear what Bassett's character is saying, right? About who you care about and all this. It's so beautifully eloquent.
It's interesting to
And
switch to like a
It's
voiceover.
it's a thematic conversation
first
that carries
voiceover
over into the next movie. Yeah, it
First
is.
voiceover in all of the movies.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, guys. That has been Mission Impossible Fallout. Thank you for
fucking
joining
did
us.
it.
And
Yeah.
join us
I
for the
love you,
last
Smokey.
episode
As
of
we
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning
finally
Part 1.
we conclude the Mission Impossible rewatch.